All right. Welcome to the show, ladies and gents. You guys are watching the Down for the Count podcast.
Sorry about
This is
that.
streaming to YouTube. It's okay, no problem. Streaming to YouTube. It will go up on Spotify after we get done. So for those of you Spotify lovers, don't worry, it'll be up soon. All right,
Stream
we got the
Mayhem on Spotify.
please do. We got
Love
the
Gaga.
OGs here today. We've got Nicole and we got Alexis. Janae is out. You guys know why, but she'll be back whenever she can. We love her. We miss her. So for now, say hi, ladies.
Hello.
Hello. Oh my god,
Girl,
sorry.
you okay?
No,
Yeah, she's having
I'm drinking the seltzer water and I haven't drinking seltzer water in like 3 days, so it's
causing the
very
burps.
heavy right now.
Yeah,
I didn't
pardon
want just like
Nicole.
plain water. Plain water is it's just like too much sometimes.
Oh, extra.
She
Pardon
wants to drink the
Nicole
staticky.
and
She
her
wants to drink
burps. Just
the static
Sometimes
water.
I need staticky water. I'm not gonna
you
lie.
need the
I need
static water. That's crazy. Okay, so part of Nicole, she's having her staticky water moment, so she may burp from here on out. So just remember that, keep that in mind. We're gonna talk about a few things today. Okay, so we're gonna briefly go over Elimination Chamber. I mean, brief. We're just gonna tell everybody how we felt about it because we haven't been able to do that on our podcast. Elimination Chamber was a week ago. Okay, and a lot has happened in a week. Okay, so
a lot happened that
Oofa.
night.
Hell yeah, it
yeah,
did.
but it was a great show. It was such a
I
good
was shocked,
pay-per-view.
honey.
They did such a good job on it. I was so proud of WWE. I'm like, thank God. Thank God. You
I
did
was getting a
good,
little
kid.
scared for Mania. I was about to be like, I might go to some watch parties instead of actually going at this fucking point.
Because they
Nicole was
hadn't
like,
started
I'm
building
out.
anything yet. They
That
hadn't
was
started
weird.
building anything yet. John Cena hadn't started showing up full time yet. And it just seemed like
Still hasn't.
WrestleMania was no, and WrestleMania just seems to be inching. No, for real. Like it just seemed like
Like, nigga, when
WrestleMania
are
was
you
inching.
retiring? It's
Yes.
soon,
Same
right?
time, same when Rey
The
Mysterio
time is
retires.
now.
Oh no, he gonna retire before Ray gonna be in there with a
Fuck.
cane. Just I can still go. Just standing there.
No.
Somebody gonna
No,
have to
he
help
need to
him do the
go.
619. Child, he ain't gonna never stop. But it was a solid pay-per-view. I was really, really proud of the show they put on, and it has sent radioactive shockwaves, not just through the IWC, but through the world. Okay. On social media, people are losing their shit. And the
Literally.
main
hmm
reason why is because John Cena has finally given over to the dark side. He has joined forces with the final boss against Cody Rhodes, and everybody has lost their shit. The last time we were on this podcast, we were doing Midwest Melanin Mafia. And I told them then that he was going to turn. I knew it. And he did it. And I was like, oh, this is good. It's good. It was good. Everybody
Nicole,
was
how's that
shocked.
bet going?
Oh, she won.
Oh, okay.
Oh, it
She
wasn't.
won. John
Oh, I
Cena
was right.
lost.
I mean, I knew I was gonna be right. So I was even if he didn't win Elimination Chamber, my main point was that he was not going to win the Rumble. That was my main
But
point.
Nicole,
This was
and she
just
called
this
it.
was just the
uh,
cherry on the top. This
It
was
was.
just
It was.
it. Literally, I
Because
because I said it, and then
she said it verbatim.
Cinco, and I was like, he can't. I was like, even though I'm still somewhat shocked he turned, even if he wasn't going to turn heel or not, this had to like he had to go through the ringer. That was the whole point. I was
Yeah.
like, he's literally been losing for so long. It would not make sense for him to just fucking just randomly come back and then just go through 29 people. 29, I won't
Mhm.
say 29. I'll say 20. No, because they didn't have any legends, right? No, they did
Don't
Not for
not.
the
So
nobody
men.
we
I
had
don't.
really.
29 fully active members.
Mm.
So that's when I was like, it doesn't make sense for his story. And I was like, I was like, it just cheapens whatever. I was like, he has to lose Rumble. And then I was like, and then he's going to win Elimination Chamber because Elimination Chamber is more grueling.
Yep,
Mm-hmm.
yep.
And
She
I
said it.
was
I
right.
mean, she called it verbatim. And I was like, well, she's right. So
Yeah,
I'm not gonna
the
argue with
heel
her.
turn was just like, great little icing on top. But I knew that was like he got. I was like, he has to win Elimination Chamber. Both chamber matches were fantastic.
They were.
That
They were very good.
chamber women's chamber match made up for that women's rumble
Facts.
because
Yeah,
that women's rumble was. It's not
I
as
don't even.
bad. It was not as bad as that first year. That first year was garbage. I don't care what anyone says. Love all the women involved. Kudos loves you long times. Awful.
Loves you long times, but
Loved you long
It was
times.
bad. It was so
I don't.
bad.
Well,
And
You
I
know
don't
what?
care
The
what no one
only.
says. Like I said, I'm so happy that they got, like, obviously, like, that platform, blah, blah, but that match was dog shit.
I mean, the
fair
women's
enough.
chamber was kind of weird to me because they did that thing again where they made it like they did at Rumble, where they made it where like Liv was going to be the one who wins. And I'm like, man, I don't want this. And but you know what? WWE fucking proved my ass wrong. I'm like, okay, they're fucking with us, but in like
I'm
kind of
mad
a good
that,
way.
I'm mad that Liv eliminated Alexa again. So, Alexa, sister girl,
Oh,
little
but here's
Ohio
the.
girl, you need to go get your lick back from that little fucking banshee.
I
Ooh,
think they should have set them up Friday too, but they didn't. And I was low key mad about that because I really wanted to see Bliss and possibly Cross and the White Six start to go after
Which I think
the
is going to happen, but I feel like it's going to
yeah,
unfortunately be a little bit rushed unless they literally start next Friday and or Monday.
yeah,
I need them to
or
start on
Monday.
Monday. They
They
so
got to
need to
start
here's
start
the
Monday.
Monday.
here's what I'm thinking. Well, this is what a lot of people are thinking on the because I guess again this is just um internet talking. If you go back and you watch Rumble this year and then you look at the Elimination Chamber, the way Bliss is looking at Bliv, like especially at Elimination Chamber when she was like locked in on her. Because remember what they said about Uncle Howdy was that he went after people who, oh God, what did he like? What's the whole thing with White Six? They
It
went
was
after
like, yeah,
someone
people who
who
wronged their loved ones or their family or whatever. Like, that's basically like,
and
yeah, like betrayed their loved one pretty much.
what has
Mhm.
Liv done? She caused Rhea and Damien to lose their family, and in Judgment Day because she came in and she wrecked it all. And it's like people are like, if we watch this correctly and they do this right, Liv and Nikki as Sister Abigail are gonna come and get their asses because they're gonna take those titles away from them. I'm like, you know what? This makes sense because when you go back and you see the way Liv was like locked in on her, I was like, ooh, Liv, girl, you in danger. I was, it was wild because I'm just like, they're gonna go after them because they keep, everybody knows Alexa's gonna end up in Wyatt Six eventually, right? Like we're not
They keep
stupid,
popping up every time she comes on the screen. So I
Yeah.
right?
imagine that is going to be the next case. But like I suspected that they were gonna go after she was gonna go after Liv right after she stared her down in the chamber. So I was like, okay, so they'll have those tag team titles defended, and hopefully Bliss and Nikki Cross will go after them, and they can get their third um championship run too. So
And
it's fine
it's
by
just kind
me.
of like, yeah, and it's just I am actually like my husband is seriously. Ooh, that's a cute thing. My husband is seriously confused. He's like, I thought you. He goes, why are you rooting for Alexa Bliss? And I'm like, look, she was gone for 2 years. I didn't see her on my TV. we good, okay? Like, I didn't have to
she's
see
a
her.
mother.
She's a
She's
mother,
a
Literally,
so
mother.
she mother.
she's a
Yeah.
cancer survivor. She's a bad fucking bitch.
You know what? And I just want to say, Alexa, drop the workout regime that you did, because girl, I still got
She
this
looks the
shit
same.
10 years
She
later.
does.
Like, she looks amazing. I'm like, are you sure she had a baby?
I
Because
was
Her
thinking the same thing.
snapback
I was
game is
staring at her.
crazy.
I was like, she don't even look like
Yeah.
she had that fucking baby. Like, where did it come
like
from?
Mm-mm.
she looks fucking amazing. Like, I want, because if they stick with this Bliss character, and they run it where she doesn't go back to the tantrum throwing girl, okay, like, I'll be okay with that, because this girl, I will say this about her, because my one biggest thing is that they would not let her wrestle, right? They were
Yeah.
Bliss, when she was in that elimination chamber,
They
that
let her
bitch was
wrestle.
wrestling.
Yeah, they
Like, she
did.
was doing
They
shit
did.
we had never seen her do before. And I'm like, oh, she wrestling now. Okay. I
Vince
was
act
like,
like he was scared to
damn,
let her fucking wrestle, like she couldn't wrestle.
I,
she
And
could.
that would piss me off. And I was like, it's not like that bitch can't wrestle. It'd be different if she was like the next person we're gonna talk about. And I was like,
Oh, shit. Mm.
I mean,
but
fair enough.
yeah, so
Fair.
that's what would make me so mad. And it wouldn't even and I wouldn't even be mad at her specifically. I would be mad about the behind the scenes people because I was like, stop acting like she can't go.
Right.
Stop
Because we
doing
know
that
she can
to
go.
her.
Like, because we know she can go. And this is proof right here. Like, where the fuck
Her
I mean,
first
like,
match
if
back, her first match back though, she did it very good in that match too. So I wasn't surprised.
she
I
did
Yeah,
wasn't
she did
amazing.
very
And
surprised
I
yeah,
at
she
all.
did
never
very
thought I would
well.
say that about Alexa Bliss. Like,
What
she
is
did
I
that
fucking
move?
great.
What is that new move they're calling for her? That spitting. I love that. It's the DD. It's like a DD. It's that DDT that Lee. It's like a DDT Sister Abigail hybrid.
Bitch, I don't know what
It
she
is.
calling
What are
it,
they
but I
calling it?
I screamed when she did that shit.
I
I was
love
like, what
that.
the fuck? Like, I woke up Harley screaming that shit,
Yeah.
man.
I don't think they named it, but I love that, and I'm so happy that they have her like that. That's looking like that's her new finisher. But I'm like, okay,
Mhm.
so somebody needs to figure out a name for that.
That's whatever it was. I will give Bliss the credit, man. She went out there and she fucking wrestled, and I never fucking thought I would say this, but good. Dude, she let this bitch wrestle, and we won't have any problems, Hunter. I mean, I'll have problems with you, but on this side of things, I will not have a problem with you.
I don't know. I
Ugh.
feel I'm always have problems with Hunter, but that's different.
Yeah, I mean, that's a different story, but
Yeah, we were gonna always Hunter. We're gonna always have problems. I'm gonna let you know that.
hmm
Why are bookshelves so expensive? Not to
I
derail the
don't know,
conversation.
because they're
All right.
stupid. I don't know.
So
But like,
elimination
women,
chamber.
I'm done
I
talking about
mean,
elimination chamber. We can talk about something
yeah.
else.
She's
I
like,
mean,
I'm
I'm
done.
just saying it was good. No, it was good. It was great. You everybody, if you haven't seen, we have to wrap it up. We can't just leave it. We have to wrap it up.
Hell yeah, I will
If you
leave
haven't
that
seen
shit.
it, she ain't shit. If you haven't seen
Mm,
it, you should go back and watch it. You can watch it on Peacock if you want, but the clips are everywhere. You throw a rock, you can find it, and you'll see what we're talking about. It was a really solid show. For now, this is my favorite show of the year. It's the only one they've had in terms of a PLE for 2025. They set the bar really, really high, and I'm hoping they go even higher with WrestleMania. So it's going to be fun. Moving on.
I mean, I was sports
Since we're talking
entertained,
about
so that's all that
girls,
matters.
that's crazy. Since we're talking about WWE related stuff, let's talk about Carmella. So Carmella, her contract wasn't renewed, and she went and did this press tour about it. She's been going on podcasts. The kind of podcast that Carmella has been on aren't your standard podcasts that we would normally see for wrestling or wrestlers
Like,
to
who
go
was that
on to
lady
have
she was even
conversations
talking
about.
to?
I've never
I don't
seen
know.
that
It
woman
just
in my
she looked
life.
like I've never seen her either, but she looked like one of those, um, one of those ladies who, gets a podcast, it gets popular, it gets popping. I can't say I know who she is. I don't. And I'm sorry. But she went on the podcast to explain what's going on with her. And she basically was just like, WWE decided to not renew my contract. And she said she thought that it was because she had went and had a baby and she was a mom or that she was a woman. And I don't know about y'all, but I disagree with that because there is a current woman who was gone for 2 years. We just got done talking about her. Bliss was pregnant, left, had her baby, took her time off, renegotiated her contract, came back and now is still one of the prominent fixtures in WWE. Same thing with Becky. Becky had her baby during the pandemic. She left, had her time, came back early because she wasn't supposed to come back during the time she came back, but she had to because Rhea went down and they needed somebody else to man the roost until Rhea got back. She came back, she
Hmm.
did what she was supposed to, and then she left and went back on her break. Um, there are other women who actually were working while they were pregnant. Maria is one of them. That woman was the 24/7 champion while pregnant. They did a full storyline with her while she was pregnant. So and this was in two different eras of WWE. This was in
Also,
Vince's era and in Triple H's. So let's just make that very clear.
yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, and also not to
Right?
cut you off, but you also have Valhalla, who's out again with her second child. And I don't
yep,
mean to again to be like rude towards her, but to emphasize a point. So you have Valhalla, who's out again with her second child. Hopefully, I wonder. I feel like she should have be having it soon if she hasn't already. To be honest,
she
I think
I
she
feel
should
like
should
be.
she's
be
been
having
out
it
for a
soon
minute.
too.
Can I
Yeah, she
just say
has
something
been.
before y'all start? I need to get this off my chest, okay? With when it comes to Carmella, because I've been holding on to this, okay?
Oh Lord.
This woman is legit. No, I'm gonna start out like this woman is legit pissing me off because okay, your contract got up. Okay, it happens. They didn't re-sign you. Okay, whatever. It happened to a lot of people. Okay, shit happens. It's business. They got to do what they need to do. Could they use her? Yeah, but in the same on the same token here, she's had health issues. She's had back issues since having that baby because she's tinier than anything in the fucking world. And every woman that I've known that's had a kid who is that small, they always have back issues afterwards. Then she's always talking about how she has drop foot, which right off the bat, if I was in that position, I'm not going to go and have all these medical issues and then go back in a wrestling ring when I'm not ready and get thrown around and busted around and then get re-injured or have something worse happen to me. That's just
What is
dumb.
drop foot? What is that? I don't know what that is.
I can't. I
Uh,
It's so hard. I don't know how to
let me
explain it,
see.
but
Let me
Steiner
see if I
had it.
can.
That's why he wrestled so bad his last run as a wrestler.
I'm
And
trying to
then
pull it
It
up on the
says it's
internet.
a
Let's see.
Foley had it.
condition.
That's the same
It's
way.
nerve damage. It's a
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
condition
basically it's
where
really bad nerve damage.
like the
it's
nerves in your. I
affecting
think
the
it's
person
like
affected is unable to lift the front part of your foot.
Yes,
yep,
it's
This
not.
can
It's
result
it's
not
in the
good.
bad.
foot dragging or dropping while walking. This says nerve
Yeah.
damage, muscle weakness, structural abnormalities. Okay, this lends some more credence to this conversation, but go ahead, Alexis.
Okay.
Finish your thought.
And I'm just saying this because I'm the only woman on this podcast who has had a kid who has gone through pregnancy, and that's why I'm rooting for Bliss because again, she looks fucking amazing, and I'm glad she's back. And honestly, I'm glad she fucking took her time coming back because you want to be ready. You not only do you want to be mentally like ring ready, you have to be mentally ready. You're leaving your kid. at, to be on the road. Sometimes you can bring your kid on the road, but, it's fun for a while. But then, it gets to when they get older, it's kind of hard because, they're starting school and all that shit, right? There's ways around it. And now that locker room is a lot more safer for them to have kids in. So why would you want to have nerve damage and then go back and fucking wrestle and end up, and no offense to Mick Foley, y'all know I love this man. Why the fuck would you want to end up looking like Mick Foley when you're 50? I have to remember that Mick Foley is like 20 something years younger than me, or older than me and Daryl, but he looks old enough to be my fucking grandfather.
No, he does.
And he's already had like his 6th hip replacement. Like, okay, getting off topic.
You try
But the
throwing
fact
yourself
that,
off of a damn cage and see how far your hips gonna stay in alignment.
yeah, that
And
wasn't
it's not
supposed to.
only
That
and it's
wasn't
not
supposed
only
to
just
happen.
that, because I get apparently like she also pitched being a manager, but also
She
it's like
did.
in the grand scope there's no managers really
No,
anymore.
No, they
and
have
The only manager really is
DFAB ain't
Paul
even a
Heyman,
manager.
barely.
Yep. Yep.
they
They
just
don't
let
have
Even
a
go of
and
Paul
even in
Ellering.
NXT, like the quote unquote people who are managers have been pivoted into different roles,
or
i.e.,
they've
like
been rest
authority
they turning.
figures. I like a Robert
Yeah.
Stone and that Stevie girl.
Stevie
So
Yeah,
and Ava.
yeah, and that's what I'm saying. Like a lot of the managers got shifted into different roles. So yes, like she did give like that option, but at the same time, yes, like drop foot is very extreme. So I get, and she did give options, but also at the same time, it's like the narrative, especially, is like very. And I hate to use this because again, I don't want everybody to be like, "Well, you don't know, you don't have kids," and I'm never gonna have children. But that's like a whole nother topic. But
yeah.
and I just think that's not fair because it's also, and not only like you have a holla out, you have that girl, what's her name? Fucking Megan Moran.
One of the
Yeah.
yeah the
She's
backstage
working
She's
interviewer,
pregnant.
pregnant.
And
right?
I guess and apparently another backstage interviewer was also pregnant.
Hmm.
But
I
what
don't
I'm
remember
what I'm
which one,
just
but someone else noted. I was like, so you can't use that argument when there's so many opposite
no.
opposing, that makes no sense. And then whoever that clip is, and I wish I remember this man's name, but he had like a really he's I think he used to be a wrestler. I can't remember his ring name because he looks familiar, but I have not
Can
connected
you
to him
send
two
it in
yet.
our group chat?
Yeah, I sent it in a group chat, and he was basically saying that he was like, obviously, he's like, is some or her? He's like, obviously, everyone has the right to feel how they feel. He's like, 100% deal with that. He's like, but some of the narratives that she's saying is just not great, and
No, and that's what I'm.
that's yeah,
That,
and like Alexis was saying, like, and that's the point that's frustrating because it's like you're allowed to be upset. No
right,
one
and
is
that's
no one is saying
that.
is that you're not allowed to be upset that you weren't renewed or aren't working there. That's 100%, like you have all the right to feel like that. But to use a narrative like that is very dangerous and it's
It pisses it.
incorrect.
It pisses me off because it's just like I felt bad for him. Like, okay, she's been there for 14 years. First of all, it's not like she's been there for 2 years and they gave her the heave ho. Okay, she's been there for a decade and 4 years, 14 years. Okay, cool, good for you. The fact that she's jumping online and she's fucking every day. Now I'm getting pissed at her. Now every day, it's like every day since she got released, she's saying some shit, and it's pissing me off because she's always just like, well, I was pregnant, I was this, and it's just like, bitch, you and Alexa Bliss were pregnant at the same time. Like you are literally a month behind her, and it's just like to me, and I'm just saying this because this is what it feels like to me. It feels like she's using her kid as an excuse, as the reason why she didn't get re-signed. And that, I mean, I could be wrong. That could be someone else completely different narrative. I understand that, but for someone who for 10 years has been a mom and having some shit happen, I would never use my kid as a reason why I'm not signed to WWE, because to me that's what it sounds like. And it's just like, oh well, and then she does this thing where she's talking about like, oh well, apparently I only had 7 days in my contract and blah blah blah, like all this shit about her contract and their version of like Family Medical Leave Act and shit. And I'm just like, don't you have anybody reading this shit for you? Don't you have someone
No,
like doing this for
no.
you? You've been in this business for 14 fucking years, and you don't think it was like maybe by year 5, you're like, oh, maybe I should hire somebody to fucking do this shit for me. Like, she's acting real dumb, and it's pissing me off because it's just, sorry, mom's side is coming out of me real fucking hard. I'm sorry. But it's just like, she keeps saying her excuse was because she was pregnant. Baby, you have nerve damage in your foot and you're having back issues.
Like
Even
rest.
if
No,
if
yeah,
they
no,
did
yeah.
resign you, what the fuck are you gonna do? And then the fact she's on here saying the only reason she wasn't resigned was because she got pregnant, that pisses me the fuck off to no extent. Like, you have no idea. And there's
Okay.
active mothers, not just on WWE right now, but in AEW, all over the fucking wrestling world. And you want to sit here and use your pregnancy? Get the fuck out of here. Take your bitch ass husband and go the fuck home. I'm sick of you.
Okay, everybody take a breather.
Okay, I had to
Everybody
get that. That's
calm
why I
down.
wanted to go first.
You just got a woosah. Okay, we're gonna take a little breather. Okay,
I'm
everybody
sorry. I'm
relax.
sorry. The bitch pissed me off. I'm sorry.
Speaking of
Woo,
Corey,
okay.
and
Woo!
this is something that he pointed out, which I also didn't like that she did. She like basically like threw him under the bus, low key. Even though I'm not like the biggest Corey Graves fan,
No
but
dead ass.
yeah, like I
No.
didn't like how she did that to him. And I, like I said, like I'm not his biggest fan, but I feel like that's your husband. Like, why would you do that?
He
And
already
she
in enough
basically,
hot water, and you
As it
you
is.
put his
yeah, and
Yeah.
ass
she
in
was
the
just like,
pot.
well, they found something for him to do when he got hurt and blah blah. I was like, he has nothing to do with this. Like, that's not right. I don't care what no one says.
Okay,
Like, that's not
okay.
okay.
No.
So here's the thing. The reason why I have a big problem with this is because you're not thinking, and I understand you're taking it personally. I can honestly say if I was in her shoes, I probably would have taken it personally too. But here's
Which is
where I
fine.
would have done things right. I would have done things differently. So when I realized that my contract was getting ready to be up and I hadn't gotten any calls from anybody, my next thing would have been to fly out to see Triple H personally because I want to understand where I stand with you. The difference between me and probably somebody else who's a wrestler is I'm not thinking about this in regards to me wrestling again. I just want to know where I can fit in this new regime. That would have been my question. Okay. So I get that she's upset and I get that she feels like they're leaving her behind because that's what it sounds like. It sounds like she's upset that they're progressing forward and she's not a part of that progression. And while, yes, they found something for Corey to do, Corey also had to go through the trials and tribulations to get to the point where he was able to do it. And if we're being fair, your husband isn't as great at his job as you think he is, and he is on
Mm.
very thin ice. So, as far as them finding something for him to do, no, I'm sure they transitioned him into commentary because they thought that this was the best fit. He was a good color commentator, and to his credit, he is good at what he does. But the problem is, Corey can't do the other side, which is Corey can't
Mm-mm.
be the face commentator. He can't be your lead commentator. He's not like Joe Tessitore. And that's where the problem came in. See, he's focusing on Pat McAfee. His problem should have been with Joe Tessitore because Joe took the job that he was supposed to have. They had to go get Joe because he couldn't do his job correctly.
Yeah.
So when you bring your husband in, you also set him up to be cut down, like I just did, because he's an easy target, as are you.
Mm.
You have drop foot. We looked it up. We're looking at it. You have nerve damage that is considerable. It is physically debilitating for you. And instead of you recognizing that and going, okay, I got drop foot. I have the back issues from me having the baby. It may not be the best idea for me to come in and wrestle again. Okay, your next thing was, okay, well, I can do this. Let me pitch this to them. Looking at the landscape of WWE, by your idea, tell me how that would work. If you don't know what her idea was, is she wanted to be a manager for a tag team. Which tag team? Who were you gonna manage?
Because pretty much, I mean, like you got American Alpha, but they got Ivy. You have the
Why
Street
do they need
Profits
her?
that B-Fab's running with
And to
them.
be honest,
And that
if we're being fair,
BFAT ain't really
American
running
made
with them anymore. Actually, where's Street
BFAB is
Profits? Is
Street Profits are
with
getting ready, are preparing for their tag team match next week. BFAB is doing her own thing. She's wrestling. She's
so
not a
that's what I'm
manager
saying.
anymore.
Like,
She's
there's
gonna wrestle
no,
Charlotte next week.
there's literally. I love that for BFAT. I'm so excited,
Me
so happy
too.
for her. The only literally quote unquote tag team manager or manager period is literally Maxine.
She's the only
but
one.
Maxine wrestles too.
But
Like
Maxine has
And
to
even
wrestle every
Maxine
once in a
wrestling.
while.
Exactly. Exactly. So I'm saying, where do you believe that is going to fit in this regime? Even in NXT, there are no valets in NXT, and all the valets double as wrestlers if they come
Yeah,
in that way.
they
So
asses got to get
where
in the
are you
ring.
going to fit in?
mm-hmm.
You
Oh,
this
I
is not
forgot about
this.
my sister Scarlett. She's low key the only one that don't be wrestling, but pisses me off
But
because
when
then
have you?
she wrestled, but then she be wrestling at house shows.
She does. And where do
Make it
you
make
see Charlotte?
sense.
When
It
do you
makes
see
no sense. She
Scarlett?
wrestles at almost all those house shows, but she don't wrestle on TV.
And she does her WWE side stuff, but let's keep it real. Like, I'm not trying to shit on Scarlett. Y'all know I love her, but Scarlett is
Yeah.
not seen on TV regularly. She's not
Yeah,
seen every single week. Carrion is, and then occasionally she'll be behind him. But
shout out
where
to
do you
Karrion
see
Cross.
her? Right. Like, where do you see, like, the kind of work you're talking about doing probably would have fit in Vince's era. That would have fit. But you're talking about it's a new era. And my problem is, instead of you having a conversation with the higher ups at WWE, the people you've established a rapport with, the ones who sign your checks, you decide to take your personal issues and then broadcast it on every podcast that you can think of. Not to mention, from what I saw, WWE did offer her a new contract, but after they decided to not renew the original contract, she turned it down. And she's like, I think I'm done with WWE. And I was like, that's fine, but let's not turn it into a misogynistic witch hunt. Let's not do that. Let's tell the truth and shame the devil. You don't know why you were not re signed. That's a
Mm-hmm.
fair statement. You don't understand why. You feel like you still have more to offer. You may not have been able to be the kind of wrestler or the persona they needed you to be, but you still had time to be able to be a part of the company. You still wanted to be there. And you felt
If
And
like you
and then
you
to
felt
sorry to piggyback off of you, Tibbs. I just wanted to get this thought out before I lost it. And like it's like a tip said, like she should like requested a phone call, requested a meeting, or like pitched more things. If I was her, I would have pitched being, and I think this would have been, and honestly, it would fit for Graves being down there too. I would have pitched being basically a quote unquote like a mentor for Ava.
yeah.
or something.
Yeah, like
Like my
something.
Or
I
you
would
could
have
have
her do some, and not even like a mentor, or basically like like a second authority figure. Like I would have pitched something and be like, Sean was like, because NXT is in kayfabe. NXT is very ghetto. That
yes,
whole place
as
is
is
very
evolved.
ghetto. Everyone's crazy. Everyone's lost their mind. I love my
you can't even
Ricky.
go in
I
that
don't know
parking
why
spot.
he's trying to talk to people normally and make friends. Everyone's fucking crazy right now. You
And you
can't
could
do
have
that
you
right
could have
now.
pitched to be GM over at Evolve. They need
Yeah,
something
that's what I'm saying.
over
And
at
that's what I was
Evolve.
like getting with it. I was like, NXT is fucking like in kayfabe. NXT is fucking nuts. And you could have had like a story where Sean is like Ava, because everyone's always barging in her fucking office, tearing it up, all sorts of shit. And I like you could have
Hmm.
had a brief story where Sean was like, Ava, there's a lot going on. These people are crazy. I brought
Mm-hmm.
You're
someone
losing
in.
control.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
brought someone in who's another another girl in the game who's been doing this for a while. she's also obviously like she's obviously we know like Carmella's been a wrestler, like she's been like she's obviously can go in the ring even though she wouldn't be able to, but we can lie and say that she could, and not have
Mm.
her do
Right.
it. And then he was like, she's going to basically be, I don't know, I want to say like a liaison or something like that. It's like she's gonna be like your right hand. She's gonna help you be able to rein these people in.
Right.
Well, not even that. And the thing, another thing that just upsets me about this, like, we don't have no love for Corey Graves here, okay? But like the fact that she's acting out like this while her husband is still employed by WWE,
Oh, he might as well
I
start sending that
like,
resume to
I
AEW
mean,
at this
it seemed
point.
like
like,
they two
not,
peas in the same pot, if you ask me,
but,
because he had no problem putting that shit on the internet, fucking himself up. I
well,
ain't.
that's what I'm getting at, because like the
So
last
what
person
I heard
who
with that he was apparently trying to drum up a storyline. But I was like,
that no,
bro,
I
you've
don't
been in the
believe
game too
that.
long. You can't be doing shit like that.
I don't believe that shit. Like,
That's
there's no
What is
apparently
way.
you
what I
trying to
heard. But
do?
I
Like
take it
wrestle
with,
Pat McAfee? Like what is happening?
And then, like, because you got to remember this, because I don't know why I started this new game, but like, remember this when Mox was leaving WWE, him and Renee were married at the time. He did not, he did what he was contractually able to do until his contract ran out because he said this in interviews. He did not want to fuck anything up for her specifically while she was still there. And she stayed there for like another 2, 3 years before she went over and joined him in AEW. But that's why he's like, I didn't want to mess anything up for her. That's my wife, and I would feel horrible if for something I said got her fired. Which I'm like, okay, cool, can respect that much. But it's just like you got to think anywhere. If you and your significant other are working somewhere, like me and my husband were working somewhere in the same place, and I got fired, but he was still working there. Why on God's green earth would I be like going on the internet and laying out all my issues with that place while my husband is still there, knowing it could damn well impact our family? It's
I don't know.
yeah, because it's
she's
like
stupid,
no
man.
offense to Carmella, and obviously she made like a good amount of money, but it's like, bitch, he's the one with the steady job right now. Like, what the fuck are you doing? And he probably
Right.
also has to pay child support on top of it. So what? Why are you trying to fuck up your money?
Well, the
I
thing
mean, you
also with
know what?
what Nicole
You
said this too. Not to interrupt you, Tiff, but Nicole said this too. That woman she went on that podcast with, she's not in the wrestling world. She's not part of this at
know,
all. And she even said it because she sent a clip in of a wrestler, I forgot who it was, that said it. She goes, if she went on any actual wrestling related show, there would have been somebody there to check her ass and be like, mm-hmm. Like, giving her like the
it
side
was
stare and shit.
Stevie Richards show, I think it was.
I love CV Richards.
That's who that is.
Hmm.
Uncle Stevie.
It was she was on a podcast. Oh
The
God.
other dude who was with Stevie Richards, he was going on that. He was going in on that podcast girl. He was like he was like, these TikTokers who get a little bit of fame and they decide that they can be like do podcasts and commenting. He was like, and they have no type of vocabulary, have no idea how to fucking talk.
Mm-mm.
No, they don't. But that girl's name is Kyle Lowry's. It's called Barely Famous. And Carmella said that WWE completely ghosted her after holding talks about returning to television in 2024. She also implied that the company no longer wanted her because she had a baby. Now,
That's bullshit.
Stevie Richards came in and said, and I agree with him on this, but I just want y'all to hear what he said. He said, I'm really, really against wrestlers giving interviews after leaving because you're not in the right mindset. You're not in the right emotional mindset to go out and start doing interviews after release or your contract runs out or you quit or whatever because you're going to say something you may regret. In other
Mhm.
words, your emotions, in other words, the allegations of she got fired or didn't get her contract renewed because she had a baby is an emotional response. And he
The
said
best
And
one,
that,
and he's
I felt like
100%
has
right.
so sorry. I felt like Sonya has handled herself like very well.
Mhm.
yeah, she did.
I think she's and
Saya
she
was like, I'm
even
just gonna do
she
the podcast.
yeah, no, and then she was like, you know what? And she was like, she is sad, she is upset, but she was like, it is what it is. And then she was also on Ariel Helwani. So I really think people should listen to that because she also gives unfortunately a lot of details about the incident
The
Mhm.
that
stalker
happened to
incident.
her. Yes. Like she really goes because she was like she kept saying she's like I haven't talked about this, and then Ariel, he was like, if you don't want to talk about that, that's fine. He was like,
See,
he was like, he was like, we can talk about it, we can move on to something else. He's like, whatever you're comfortable with. And she was like, no, she's like, I'll talk about it. She's just like, I haven't yet. She's like, I feel like I should at this point. And sorry not to derail, but
no, it's all right.
oh my god, and I was like so I felt like so sad for her. And she even talked about how when they came to work right after it happened, and I guess like Vince was like in a meeting and he like left the meeting, was like, hey, no, I want to
Yep,
talk to you, I want to talk to you in person. And
yep,
like gave her, and he was like, what do you need? And she was like, I don't know. And he was like, okay, like what do you, and he was like, are you gonna go to your house? And she was like, she's like, I feel like she should, but I guess like, but long story short, Vince ended up putting her, and I was like, I think her mom, her it's like she's like her dad stayed there, Mandy stayed there, and
mm-hmm,
her Mandy's mom stayed there,
yep.
and they were there. She said
Mhm.
for a month, and they paid, and WWE paid for it.
Yep.
And they gave her
And
WWE
private
paid for
security.
that, and they
security.
had and he was like security, and she was like no, like real. She was like they had guns,
Yeah.
like
Yeah,
straight up guns. Like if that motherfucker came, they're gonna blow his brains out. Type of security.
yeah,
Well, yeah.
yeah.
And
And there's
that's one thing
another
I'll
As they should have
segue.
if his ass
they
got out.
should.
Yeah, no,
But to
because
say
that
like, and
just
then she even, and she in her own way said that, she doesn't think that she would come back. She was like, never say never, but she's like, I feel like, like I did this for a very long time, probably a lot longer than I thought I would. And she was like, and
Mhm.
I'm okay with that, like closing. And she was like, it's not, she's like, it is what it is.
And
And that's
not
why
to
I
that's
really
mention,
just
commend her on how she's handling it. Because, she said, like, she's sad, she's upset about it, but she's like, you know what? Whatever. It is what it is. She's like,
and that's
I
the
just
other,
have opportunities to do other things.
and
yeah. And
that's
they
the
have a
thing
child. Her and
also.
her wife have a her and her wife have a child too, that they take care
Her
Oh.
of, and
girlfriend, hey, Rory, stop it. Stop.
that's
Her
not
wife has
that's
like two
Nicole's child.
kids,
That's
I
her
think.
cat. Yeah, they have kids that they are raising together, her and her wife. So I think she's in a good headspace. It's a level of maturity, is my point. And I'm not saying that Carmela is immature. And I'm not saying that she's invalid for feeling how she feels. I'm saying there's a thought process here where you're trying to make a dollar out of 15 cents and you don't understand why you weren't given an opportunity to do something else rather than just letting you go. You're not that's not registering with you. So you're latching on to whatever you can think of that makes sense to you, but you know full well that that makes no sense. Because there's literally a woman standing in the ring every week who just got done having a baby 2 years ago. So that makes no sense.
And to add on to that, they were able to have Sonya in a position. She was on TV. She wasn't wrestling, but they were able to find
No.
Sonya a position where she could be on TV. But if she needed time off to deal with that crap that was going on, they could just be like, "Oh, she's
That's
not here this week." But and so right
if it
there
was
puts
me, I don't
another
think I
hole in
would
it.
have fired her. I don't think I would have fired her. I mean, I think I would have kept Carmella and I would have let her
Yeah,
come
I
in
probably, yeah,
as
that's
a
what, and that's what I'm
liaison
saying. Like, I do get her
for
gripes,
like
and like I
Mark, for
said,
Nick, or for
I would
Adam.
have kept her. You know what I would have done, because it would have been funny, because she would have got on his fucking nerves. I would have
Yeah,
made her Adam Pierce's assistant.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Because like sometimes when they're not there, there's no structure there. You don't have no GM to run the show or blame. And like sometimes they're gonna go on breaks. When Ava takes a break, Robert or Stevie are the ones who handle the show, right? So I
Yeah.
would have
Right.
kept her and whatever show Corey was on permanently, which is more than likely gonna be Raw once Pat goes on his hiatus. Corey, wherever Corey was, that's where she would be. Corey's in NXT right now. So put her ass in NXT. I think Robert and Stevie being Ava's liaison is a little too much. I think they need to
I
move
think
them.
they need to get rid of
Robert,
Stevie and just Stevie need they I and not get rid of Stevie, like get rid of her as an authority figure, put her ass back in the ring. Actually, hell, put her on Evolve. Evolve is
yeah, she can go to
speaking of
Evolve.
ghetto. Evolve is very ghetto, but I love it. It's very
I think okay,
homegrown, very
yeah,
it's a mess. I love
yeah, but
a
I like
fucking
it.
dumpster fire. I love every second of it.
It's good.
It
I just
I will
is.
say
remember
that.
It's bad, but it's good.
I just remember her
Yeah,
with Raw Underground saying they needed more big booty bitches. That's the
They sure did.
so
They
that's something
still
I'm always kind
do.
of
they
I'm
did.
sick of
They
that
did.
shit. I'm so
It's
sick
just
of it.
I'm so she's such a mess. I wish that Carmella would have handled it better. And I don't get us wrong. We're not trying to discredit how she feels, but there's some logic here that has to be talked about that isn't being talked about. And that's where we are differing. And there are other wrestlers who are like, this might not have been the best avenue for you. Not to mention, see, these podcasters, these especially these TikTok podcasters, influencer podcasters, they don't understand the world that they're in when they're talking to these wrestlers. All they know is that this girl got fired and they think that she got fired for this particular reason. But there is some underlying information that was not being revealed. And then when you watch the interview, the TikToker was like, oh, I would have sued him. And she would have lost. Do you know why? Because there's a clause in the contract on WWE's behalf that says they have the option to not resign. And to be fair, they fulfilled the obligation of the contract.
honestly, and
She didn't get
that's any
fired.
contract.
She didn't get fired. She just didn't get her contract renewed. You would have had no grounds to sue. This is another reason why you need to be careful of who you talk to because one, this is not a regular employee type of world where they just fired her on a whim. This isn't like that. She was contracted to be an independent contractor for this business. Okay? So when you go and do a podcast interview, make sure you dot your I's and cross your T's, which means do your fucking research first. Throw a rock, you can find 17,000 podcasts, including ours, who help you understand this business better than you sitting up with your feet up on a couch, running your mouth about shit you know nothing about. Because the only thing that you've done is talk shit on TikTok and then decide that a podcast will be a better place for you to do it.
I just
Okay? We're gonna
mm,
we're gonna move on because I really don't like her. I don't like
mm-mm.
her. I don't like her. So good luck to you, Carmella. Though I feel like you'll be fine. And then probably in some years you'll be back to WWE. Y'all always say you don't never
Them
think you'll be back.
motherfuckers always come back. If
They
CM
always
Punk's
say that.
raggedy ass can come back, everyone else
Okay.
was. When he literally
And
sued
so
them.
Naya said the same shit. Naya said the same shit. I'm happy on my farm. Not her ass bouncing around WWE, getting titles, talking shit, bust down middle parts, his new
She's
hair coming
honestly
out.
she's been one of the best returns though. I'm not even not gonna shade it.
I agree.
I so say that with my whole chest. She improved herself. She improved her ring work. She improved her promo. I don't know what the fuck I don't know who had her in some trenches somewhere doing the work, but kudos. Um, CM Punk came back, tried to sue them. Jazz is back in the fold after her law. I think who did she sued somebody there.
She sued
Who she sued?
WWE.
She sued WWE.
Yeah.
And then she was at fucking And then she was at
TNA.
Axis. Yeah, and then she was at Axis last year for Mania, and probably will be again,
Yeah,
or whatever they're
yeah.
calling it now. So
So
that's what I'm saying. I was like,
I won't say it never, never. She'll be
wrestlers
back.
are the most unserious people. They're just full of just carny fucking liars. Um, Cody Rhodes,
Yep.
your Universal whatever champion.
Lev said he wasn't going back.
I'ma break this throne. Blah blah blah.
Yeah, yep. Then he ended up working for him. Now he is champion. Hmm.
I don't want to hear it.
Well,
I don't ever once they start saying like I'm not coming, it's like shut the fuck up. I'll see you in a couple of years.
Right.
so
I'm
we
done
have
talking to
Legacy
that.
her.
check.
Let's get into this Jade Cargill Shayna Baszler situation. So the rumor is that Shayna Baszler and Jade Cargill got into it backstage, and then I don't have no clear, definitive understanding of what really happened. I was trying to find it, and I just I can't find a clear answer as to why. So I went to Wrestle Zone and I pulled it up, and they said that Jay Cargill allegedly, I want to say allegedly because it's coming from Meltzer, and Meltzer has a tendency to over exaggerate things. And a lot of times they will leak bad information to him on purpose just to see if he'll run with it. And usually he does. Um, so according to WrestleZone, they say that allegedly, per Meltzer, Cargill, before she had her absence in WWE, she had a confrontation with Shayna Baszler. According to the report, it says that the incident had been confirmed by several people, which I learned that it was like 6 or 7 people who confirmed the incident. Don't know who these 6 or 7 people are, but they say that Cargill had rubbed people the wrong way in the Raw Women's division, so much so that Baszler wanted to fight her. Management learned of the situation and calmed it down. The incident occurred when Jade Cargill and Bianca Belair were working with Baszler and Zoe Starks. Interesting.
Mm.
Apparently, according to Meltzer, he noted that the issues weren't just one thing in general, but the belief was that some problems were related to the matches and some of them didn't. He said another source stated that they believed the tension was worse on the SmackDown side. Okay. Sean Ross Sapp of Fightful then reported that he asked about the issues and those in the locker room were initially quiet. However, sources claim that Jay Cargill took issue with something that happened, and the word in the locker room was that Cargill said something to the effect of Baszler needed to learn how to work. Specifically, the incident stemmed from a match where Cargill tapped out when it wasn't supposed to be the finish. Sources close to Cargill said that she was more disappointed with herself and she apologized backstage. So it sounds like somebody's blowing this shit out of proportion. And when Jade Cargill realized she made an error, she went and apologized afterwards. I'm going to continue. Sapp continued that Cargill's video after the return at Elimination Chamber, in which she demanded respect and said that she was surrounded by wolves, was taken personally by a number of talent. I don't believe that, but that's what they're saying. Additionally, Cargill's absence was also the subject of the heat. Per Sapp, talent heard that Cargill asked for the holiday tour off, but she was told that it was mandatory. Cargill then sustained the injury, and several members of the roster doubted the validity of the injury. However, per WWE higher ups, Cargill was indeed injured, and she was willing to come back much sooner, but WWE wanted to make sure she was cleared and ready to return. In an update, Sapp wrote the sources claim close to Cargill claimed that she did not ask for her time off for the holidays, and that Cargill was also have said to have trained near her home, in addition to going to the performance center multiple times ahead of her return. So you're getting a lot of he say, she say, a lot of back and forth. The main logistic is they say that there was a issue with Cargill and Baszler backstage after they worked with them during Bianca and Cargill's tag team run. This also bled over into the time frame of the release of that video, which was released Saturday after Cargill did her attack on Naomi. And they said that some superstars felt some type of way about it. I don't believe that. The video was very much a produced video. It wasn't like she was in an interview, like I'm surrounded by wolves in this locker room. The video was targeted at Naomi because Naomi was a wolf in sheep clothing going after the girl. And you can clearly tell that that's what that was about. I, if there was an issue backstage, I don't think that things escalated the way that they're saying it did. I think that they probably had into a little heated moment because of a situation in one of their matches. Things got a little back and forth. They decided to squash it. And after Cargill calmed down, she went back and apologized. But you're getting two different messages from Fightful and from Wrestling Observer. Wrestling Observer is saying that Cargill has backstage heat in both SmackDown and Raw locker rooms. They're saying that there are women there who don't like her and they have issues with her. Fightful is focusing specifically on Baszler and the fight with Baszler and how some women may have taken the video out of context because of the fight with Baszler. So, what do y'all think? Because I'm at the point now where I feel like you should only report on things when you have a clear, definitive answer as to what really happened. When two different
Yeah.
reporters are given two different stories, that makes things very muddy and convoluted. And it
Well,
also throws, it's just too
sorry to
much.
cut you off.
No,
It's
you're
not
good.
even two. It's not even two reporters. Every person who's reported it has a different type of story, and then you have Chelsea trolling online. Then you have Shayna trolling online. Then you got what's that bulldog fucking that bitch trolling, Zoe trolling. And
Oh,
so, and
God.
that's what I'm saying. And then once Chelsea, because at first I said, "Bitch," I said, "Chelsea, I don't. I'm about to look at you sideways. 'Cause I feel like you're being messy." And then she said something. I said, "She's trolling."
She's
Yes, she
always
is.
trolling.
She and then I was. It
Yes.
was like one of the last ones I saw. I said, "Oh no, this is a troll."
Yeah.
And then once I saw Liv's tweet, I said, "Oh, this is really a troll," because
Hmm.
Liv, as we give the blues to her character, but Liv as a person obviously is a very kind, very wonderful
Yeah, she's not
girl.
like that. Yeah.
And she never has issues. Like, again, she's very lovely, lovely girl. So as soon as I saw, I was like, they're trolling.
Yep.
And I think because someone, and I think is wrestling purists, and usually that's why I go, and they basically said a situation did happen. They squashed it. They were like, it was Jade. It's like Jade was frustrated at Shayna, but she was also mostly frustrated herself. They talked about it, whatever, blase, blase. And then they end
Yeah.
up coming to like an impasse about it. My thing is, I'm very weirded out about, and there, because low key, if you ever want to know a wrestler's tea, talk to the Diva Stan accounts.
No, dead ass.
I'm dead
Yeah,
serious, and
she's
I'm not
right.
even being funny. Diva Stan accounts know a lot of tea. They don't really
And I'm
say
trying to
nothing, but
understand
they
how they
they
know it.
hold it. They hold it until they get mad and get messy. I.e., Jada Parker.
Yep.
Hmm.
They will hold on to some shit until they get mad at you or something, and they spill it. And we're seeing quite a few accounts be like, "Oh no, this happened. What a blah 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 months ago. Yeah, I heard about it. I heard, like, last thing I heard, it was squashed."
Which sounds
It
like
just
that's what it was.
Yeah, so that's
it
what I'm saying. I
yeah.
was like, so to me, it sounds like somebody planted something, and I feel like, you know what, we're
Yep.
just gonna go along with it for the day, because that's
I
literally
mean,
what it sounded like. Looked
Yep.
honestly,
like.
it just sounds like because first off, Jade's never had any problems in AEW. Shayna's never had it. Shayna is a legit fucking badass. She's
Yeah.
never had any problems. She shows up, she does her job, and then she goes home. And then it's just like, I think what may have happened was that both of them were just frustrated. They caught each other at a bad time, tempers flared for a hot second, and then they hashed it out. Like that's all that it sounds like
which
to
is
me. Like,
normal. But it sounds like
and it
you're giving us late
happens.
tea. Like you don't even know
That's what
when
it is.
you're
This is
talking
just
about
it's like old.
this
It's
is
just like
late.
cold tea. It's I will use
It was from 6 months ago.
I will use the new lingo. It's literally reheated nachos.
Ooh, child. Reheated nachos is some crazy shit.
No, because even when Nicole sent that thing in from What Culture, as much as I don't like What Culture, they're one of the very few that don't go around spreading rumors. They just tell you what's going on, but they don't add anything to it. But like even the guys at What Culture were like, here's the thing also. This it supposedly happened 6 months ago. Why are we just now hearing about this? Not and they even
Because
said it's
they
like
don't
not that it's and it's like and they even said it's like it's not any of our business that this even happened in the first place. But this did go
right.
down. Why did y'all wait 10 or 6 months to let us know
Yeah,
what the
it's
hell was going on?
weird. Like all of this is weird.
Because somebody
So
gave
I'm
it to
like,
him. Somebody did
I
it on
said
purpose to see if
somebody.
he would leak
So
it.
I feel like somebody is mad about it, and and I honestly don't even think it's the people involved. I feel like it's somebody on the outside.
No. Because when's the
Hmm.
last time you ever heard of Shayna getting into it
Yeah, that's what
with
I'm saying. I was
anybody?
like, this is weird. I was like, and that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't even think it's like the usual culprits or the person who apparently is the one who usually leaks the fake stories out,
Hmm.
because they're apparently they said I got told there's two people who leak fake stories out to dirt sheets. um
And who's that?
I'll tell you guys when we're done
Mm-mm.
with this. I'll tell you guys off camera. um but so that's what I'm saying. Like it's just it's just weird. And I was like, I don't care about this shit. Like I don't need to know
Right.
about this. I want to know the on-screen drama. I don't give a fuck about what they're doing outside, especially something that got squashed 6 months ago. What the fuck does that got to do with me?
And it don't pay my bills. Why the fuck should
But
I care?
that's my thing. That's why I'm thinking that somebody was like, "Oh, I'm gonna leak this and see. I'm gonna get this and see what if they gonna take the bait or not." And he took it. And because everybody thinks Dave Meltzer is the authority on wrestling, especially in the dirt sheets, they ran with it. And most people was just like Meltzer reported it. It's probably not true, or he got it out of context, which he did. He did because Sean
Yeah.
Ross Sapp reports it, and I don't even fucking like Sean Ross Sapp like that. But I do. I will say that that man's integrity when it comes to what he reports, he's usually pretty much impartial. He will report it in an unbiased fashion. He's going to report it
Mm-hmm.
how it's given to him. He has some checks and balances with it. He's not going to just put a story out there without vetting it first. So I'm gonna have my own issues with Sap, but at least you can trust that he's reporting something that someone has given him and he's vetted it. 90% of the time, he's gonna vet that story before he puts it out there. Meltzer just he's just gonna put it
Puts
out there.
anything out.
Um,
Yeah, he just puts
he
it
don't care.
out and acts like it's he puts it out there, act like it's fact, and
With
that
no,
it
and
is.
then he comes back with the context later after he done put the little seed out there. Then he wants to fill in the holes. I don't like that man.
It just blows my mind just because again, we shouldn't even known it even if they did come to blows, like they were like punching each other and had to be separated and all that shit. Like we still shouldn't have known that this even happened in the first fucking
And then
place.
and also, no tea, no shade. It's the industry. Them niggas is gonna fight. Like, I'm
Yes.
sorry. Like, it happens every promotion, whether it's an indie or a mainstream one or a mid range. There are people back there. They're gonna fight. They're in a
Yep.
physical. They're they're doing a physical quote unquote job. Their whole job is to literally fight people.
Facts.
There's going to like someone if and it's not like a normal job where you can quote unquote fight your coworker if you need to let some shit out. You can't really do that at your normal job. I feel like that should be allowed. I feel like that would
Yeah.
Me
alleviate
too.
some issues. But that's what I'm saying. Like, and I think that's what people also don't realize it. And it's like, that's not normal. They're not doing anything fucking normal. They're clunking their head, they're falling on their backs, they're walking around mostly naked. They're not, none of those
That-
people are completely right in the head.
I mean, and let's
fair.
even throw
And
this
they're
out here.
chock full of testosterone and estrogen, and they're fucking crazy.
Well,
And they're
let's
going
even
to
throw
have
this out here.
fights. So what?
I mean, hell, the three of us with Janae, our friends, we get into shouting matches with each other. We don't, there's always there's sometimes disagreement. Okay, whatever. We deal with it as adults. I I think this is just what I'm thinking, and I saw a lot of people saying this online too. I think a lot of people are just trying to find something to pin on Jade because they don't like the fact that she's there. They don't think that she's WWE material. But you have to remember, these are the same people hiding behind computer screens who more than likely have never been inside a gym in their entire life.
Mm.
And that's on
Because,
period.
and I see that
I
woman
feel
get
like,
so
and
much
I'm
hate.
getting worried because I feel like they're gonna do the same thing to Ricky.
Yeah, they are.
They're already starting,
They're already
girl. It's
starting.
the
Yeah, they
IWC.
are. Yeah, they're gonna say that, oh, he's not getting nothing. He should have
They're
stayed in
gonna, you know, the
AEW.
first thing they're gonna say as soon as he gets like a title opportunity or something, like he only has that because he's best friends with Cody and Punk, and
Yeah,
like he's really
yeah,
like him and Jade are really close. Like Jade is like, and they've like said multiple times like they're like that they're each other's best friend. Like that's one of their best friends. Like
yep.
it's gonna be the same shit with him, even though he's massively talented.
Is
Mm-hmm. But it
he
doesn't
is.
matter though, because they're just going to
That
try to
doesn't
find
fit the
any
narrative.
excuse.
I'm
All
so
right.
I'm so waiting. I'm so waiting for the first person to fucking say that. I'm just
She's just
waiting.
chomping at the bit.
She's like, try me,
We're
bitch.
gonna we're gonna take a really quick small break. I promise. I need to upload the AEW Revolution card so we can talk about it because I did watch AEW this past Wednesday. So give us 5 minutes and we'll be back. Small break. It's enough time for you to go get yourself something to drink, get a snack, and y'all can come on back. 5 minutes.
Still don't know my words, still stressing perfection. Let you all in my mental, got me looking too desperate. Damn, you ain't deserve. Time. If I say I hate you, I mean it. If I say I love you, I mean it. If I say I hate you, I mean it. If I say I love you, I mean it.
I've been losing friends and finding peace. Honestly, that sound like a fair trade to me. Rolling 80 wheels in the city. Riding on you. Gotta roll OT, gotta give a release. Spread your legs down, down, so I'm going on the heat. Hit the raw sounds when I rock up in your city. I'ma roll on the forever, let her roll on me. Split this one down the middle, wake up in harmony.
A claps. Don't close your eyes to get
All right. So, give me a second. Okay. So we are back. Okay. You guys got a little time to get yourselves together. Now, AEW Revolution is tomorrow. It is March 9th. They're going to be at the Crypto Arena in Los Angeles. Okay. Nicole will be back in a second. She popped out for a minute, but she'll be back. So, I watched AEW Dynamite this week, and I have to say, it's a pretty solid show. Can't say anything bad about it. Well, there are a few wonky things that I saw, sure, but that comes with the territory of a lot of different things. So I'm not going to hold them to a standard that I wouldn't hold WWE to. Okay. But I will say that the only thing I need is I'm going to need like a slight refresher on some of the feuds. Sometimes they gave you a callback for certain feuds, but other feuds you didn't really know what was going on, why they're attacking each other, and I need them to make sure they handle that part of the show because that's the only thing I was confused on. So let's get into some of the matches that are set for AEW Revolution. All right. Let's start off
Shit kicked me out.
with the 0 hour.
Oh God.
Let's start with the 0 hour. 0 hour was
M&M collection.
AEW.
Period.
Eminem Collection and Johnny TV will be facing off against Orange Cassidy, freshly squeezed Orange Cassidy. I'm not calling that man Big Boom. His name is AJ. And then Mark Briscoe is gonna be there in their tag team. They also had a match on Dynamite this week. Freshly squeezed Mark Briscoe and Will Ospreay went up against Bad Apple, and the guys from the Don Callis family. They had their match. It was pretty decent. Will Ospreay ended up getting attacked. Fletcher, I believe his name. Is that his name?
I don't know, man.
Kyle Fletcher. That's his name. Kyle Fletcher ended up coming out late and attacking Will Ospreay, beating him up. They had another friend, a former friend of Will Ospreay's. You know, they were really verbally abusing this man to beat up Will Ospreay, and he did it. He was very reluctant to do it, but he did it. It leads me to believe that Sunday they're supposed to be in a steel cage match this Sunday for this. So I don't think that this match is going to be as clean as it should be. The last time Will Ospreay went up against Kyle Fletcher was in Australia, and Kyle Fletcher lost. So hopefully Will Ospreay will will out and beat him. Kyle Fletcher is he's an interesting looking man. I'll put it that way. He's interesting looking. Body wise, he's fine, but like, okay. If that's
Okay.
That's what you like. I'm not gonna shit at it. I love his crown though. His crown is fire. Anyway, Dynamite kicked off with none other than Swerve Strickland and y'all favorite heel Ricochet.
Okay, real quick. What the fuck is up with the scissors? I just want to know.
I can't believe I'm going to say this and someone literally kick me in the head for it. I low-key kind of like this feud.
I don't. And I'm going to tell you why.
I do, and I don't like it.
I don't care. I just want to know what's up with the scissors.
Okay, so the scissors came in because the scissors came in because of Ricochet. When Ricochet first got to AEW, he was on a pretty big high. I don't know if he said or did something that was out the way. Maybe Nicole can clarify. But there was a TV show or PLE that he performed on. He said something out the way, and Swerve laid into him. And because of that, they threw toilet paper at him. Don't quite know
Which was
why
fucking funny, honestly.
Paper,
that was actually really funny.
I guess it was to allude that he's shitty, so he needed toilet paper. But he also was wiping his ass with somebody's stuff at one point. during your show. So I know a lot of people are gonna be like, Tiffany, like you're gonna have to clear this up. I can't clear that up for you. I just remember seeing the image of the toilet paper raining down on this man. Ricochet did not like it. He was very upset. So the following Dynamite, or at least a Dynamite or two after, he went after Swerve Strickland and he picked up some scissors and he busted Swerve Strickland open. He cut him open with the scissors and he wiped his blood all over him. For whatever reason, wrestlers love doing that. It's so nasty. But
Ew.
whatever makes you happy. He's been gloating about this for quite some time, and Swerve Strickland has made it very clear because Ricochet feels like everybody's blowing smoke up up Strickland's ass. They're giving him all this love and admiration. Meanwhile, I'm the one who I'm a better wrestler than him. I look better than him. I do it better than him, and yet I get booed. And Strickland, to his credit, was like, I ain't never proclaimed to be a good guy. I'm just the bad guy that everybody likes. Which I
Do
was
we
like,
though?
fair enough. I mean, fair enough. He's not lying. In that regard, he's not lying. He's telling the truth. He never has portrayed himself as a good guy. He has always walked in the faith of being the bad guy. Ricochet just doesn't like that people like Strickland more than they like him. He's jealous.
Mm.
So the scissors came in from Ricochet attacking Strickland. They have been going back and forth ever since then. They had this sit down, they said their words, and then Ricochet tried to attack him. This is what I sent to you in the group chat. This
I don't
was
leave this
wonky.
candle out. Hold on.
Uh-oh.
My bad. Sorry.
This was the wonky part that I sent you guys in the group chat where Ricochet tried to attack him from behind. I feel like this could have been better had it been cleaned up and the spot was done correctly. Okay, I want you to understand.
Mm-hmm.
Ricochet then tries to stab Strickland. He turns him around and tries to stab him. Strickland grabs his hand and holds it, and he's fumbling in his pocket to get the scissors. And Ricochet is like trying to pretend like Swerve is too strong for him to not like stab him in the head. And I'm just like, this is very wonky. Like, Strickland should have headbutted him, laid him out, and he would have been laid out on the mat trying to recover from the headbutt, right? And then he could have grabbed his head and then stabbed him in the head if that's what he wanted to do. You got the only thing I say about this is that AEW has to clean up their spots. The spots need to look as clean as you're wrestling, because then there's no denying what we saw. We can't dissect it if it's done clean. That's all I ask. Everything else was perfectly fine. I didn't have a problem with anything else. The jargon going back and forth. Ricochet is just terrible as a heel. It's not that he can't be one. It's that I don't believe what he's selling me. I just don't. And to be fair, to clean it up, I understand why Nicole likes the feud. I don't like it because I don't feel like Ricochet has leaned into his heel character enough. And that's my only problem with it. I feel like he's got to get mad, and then he needs to be more calculated. He's trying to be an arrogant douchebag, and he just comes off as a douchebag. It doesn't work because there's nothing of substance behind it. You can't be like Miz. He's not going to get over being like Miz. He's got to get angry, and he has to do it with some finesse, and he doesn't know how to do that because he ain't got no swag. I've realized that he just don't have no swag. I'm not expecting Ricochet to be nothing other than Ricochet, but at the same time, his swag is lacking, in my opinion. Whenever Nicole is ready to come back, she can talk about why she likes the feud. I'm not mad at it. But in this particular match, whoever
Sorry, I'm back.
wins,
I was tripping for a second because I was like, I could have sworn I blew out that candle and I just started panicking. Um,
uh-oh,
I like the feud because I don't know. I just think it's funny. I I don't like. I don't know how to explain it. Like I just think it's funny. Like
I
it's
can't with
just
her.
it's also and it's like making and I hate to be like I hate to sound like fucking Kim Kardashian, but it's like making Ricochet work.
Fair.
Mm.
Like, nah, nigga, your ass, you gotta work. Like you don't. What the fuck is this? This isn't right. Um, and it's just like I don't know. I think it's also making it's giving a Ricochet some legs. I don't even know if I use that phrase right. Like it's giving him like some oomph because the whole point of when he left and even when he was still at WWE and like even when he first got to AEW is that like it's like that he's I don't again like I'm talking about him as a character. It's like that he's just soft. Like he's just this soft nigga who just does flips
Mm.
and you
Maj
just
isn't
you
here, is he?
Who
I
gives a
tell Maj
shit?
to his face. I don't give a fucking
And
damn.
would. And would.
Um And I mean, and it's no shit, and that's what I'm saying. Like, this is just him as a character. It has nothing to do with him as a person. And it's just like he's
No.
just soft. He's just soft. He was
Well,
soft it. So I think it's giving him not legs, some edge,
yeah,
and it's
fair enough.
helping him, and it's making him develop himself. And that's why I'm glad that he low key went to I'm like high key glad that he ended up going to AEW because this forced him to put in the work with his character, which I don't think WWE wasn't like the home for him to have to be able to figure that out, if that makes sense. Like I felt like he had to go somewhere where it's like dog eat dog, and like we've like said this before, multiple people have said this before. It's like he's obviously he needed character work. He had no fucking personality.
You
He's
still
just
need
like a
character
quote
work.
unquote good wrestler, and that's literally it. And this forced him to like to me like it forced him to look in a mirror and be like, okay, what am I really about? What am I willing to do to get to where
I
I need to be?
personally, I think he should join the hurt business, in my
I
opinion.
think he's eventually
Oh,
going to. I think this is going to lead to that, but I think he
yeah,
needs, in my opinion, and that's why I'm glad like this is going. He needs something like this to develop himself to, I don't want to say, to basically to prove himself to be able to stand with them.
okay.
Hmm. Makes sense.
This match determines who will have the number one contenders match for the AEW World Championship. So the championship is on the line tomorrow, and I'll get to that in a minute. Speaking of the Hurt Syndicate, they also have a match um against the Outrunners, who seem to think that they're still in the 80s.
I think that's the whole gimmick. Because isn't one
Yes,
of
it
their
is.
names like a dick joke or something?
I don't know. I don't know.
I love the Outrunners.
I don't like them.
They
I
give me
love
the
the
creeps.
Outrunners because it's obviously like it's just so gimmicky. And it's like gimmicky, like it's like a flash of like the over exaggerated like wrestlers from like way back when, from like the 80s and something, but it's sort of like reimagined towards something like newer. I think honestly, if you watch them a little bit more consistency, I think you would like them a lot because I didn't really care for them when I first saw them. And then as I like started like watching their matches more and like seeing them a lot bit more, and they like really really grew on me, and like I absolutely love them. Like in my opinion, like if they were gonna fucking take them off, they were gonna take those. I'm mad that they did Private Party like that, but I felt like
Yeah.
they should have been the next people with those titles after Private Party and not Hurt Business.
I don't think the Hurt Syndicate's gonna drop those titles to the Outrunners.
They're not gonna drop those titles, but I don't like how the Hurt Syndicate has those titles, but that's a whole nother thing.
Mm-hmm.
Because they didn't
So
need
we
those
have that.
titles.
I don't think they needed them either. At least
They did
not
not
now.
need those titles.
Not right now. They didn't need them.
Well, they don't need them in general.
Well, no, like, but if they go through the idea of the Hurt Syndicate being a dominant faction at some point, they're gonna need gold. And tag team
Them
titles are
hats is
usually the
killing me.
ones. Tag team titles are usually the ones that they snap up first. So I'm not mad at them getting the titles. I feel like they shouldn't have gotten them at the moment. I don't believe I've heard about the Hurt Syndicate in a while. I don't think I did. But they did have the Outrunners on TV. They just, were doing their montage about preparing for AEW Revolution and their match against the Hurt Syndicate. Now we're going to move into a feud that I'm going to need some help with because I don't understand why MJF and Hangman Adam Page are fighting. They didn't
They're
really
on.
dive
No,
that.
we can move. There's
There,
no
there's
reason. There's
there's no
literally no
reason.
reason. There's no
They're just
reason.
rehashing.
I'm
They're
trying to
just
get it, but
rehashing this.
from what I
I know. I'm being
gathered
dead ass
from
serious.
when
There's
I
literally no reason.
because they made it they had them on the show. NJF cut a promo in the beginning of the show before the show even started. Adam wasn't even there yet, and then they did a couple of segments. They did a couple of matches, and then they went back to MJF, who was in the parking lot, and that's when Paige showed up. Damn near ran them over. His truck. They go inside.
Paige is so unhinged right now. That's the only thing I like about it.
They're going inside, they're arguing, they start fighting, and then they send in security. After security stops, they MJF grabs that ring he wears and punched Paige in the head. He took out a lot of the security was laid out, and then he was like, since your hero likes fire, let me show you what I'm going to do with it. So he goes out of the ring, under it, grabs lighter fluid. This is legit lighter fluid. Pours it all over Paige and fumbling, trying to get the lighter to light. And then the producers come out and more security comes down and they're grabbing MJF. And he was like, let me do what I want to do. Let me show you how I would do it. Why won't you give me my time? Like hollering at the top of his lungs. And I'm just like, what the fuck is going on? Like, there's no explanation as to why this is happening or why these two are having it out. Nobody's saying anything. All you see is MJF literally losing his shit. And Paige is out. He's out on the mat with lighter fluid all over him. And I'm just like, what is this? What is going on? And he was just like, you people cheer for your heroes. And he said, your hero loves fire. Let me show you what I would do with it. And then he just casually goes out the ring and try to light this man on fire. I'm just like, are we that desperate? Like, what is going on?
I don't know.
This
Honestly,
was unnerving.
I wish I could tell you, but I watch AEW in clips, and I have no fucking idea what the hell is going on.
I watched this when I tell you I watched this show twice because I thought that I missed something, especially when it came to MJF and Hangman Adam Page.
No,
And
you're thinking. I don't want to cut Tiff. You're thinking way too hard into this. It's dumb. Everything about this is fucking dumb. It's not. It's just stupid. It's just a reason for Hangman to be on a card. A reason for MJF to be on a card and for him to regurgitate the same fucking nonsense that he's been regurgitating for 5 years now. Is late. It's tired. I'm over it.
Mm, they have a match on Sunday. It's just a grudge match between two people who do not like each other. So if you care, you can watch it. Um, let's go into some of the women. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Mercedes is facing off against Momo. Okay. Mercedes is putting her TBS championship on the line. She cut a promo with Renee this week.
How bad was it?
Bad, no, but it was interesting. She what she did was very similar to what a face character would do when they're facing off against a formidable opponent. 90% of the time, they're going to compliment the heel first, then they'll say that they're going to beat them, right? So when she did it, she basically was talking about how on Friday or Saturday, which it's tomorrow, I guess. I don't have no clock in front of me. Um, yeah, tomorrow. It's 9:57. Tomorrow, Momo's gonna go up against Serena Deeb. And she was like, Serena Deeb is one of the greats. She's the professor. She's gonna work Momo over. And she's like, Momo is a formidable opponent, but Serena's gonna soften her up for me. And I'm just gonna blow past her like I blow past everybody else. And then she's got so many catchphrases, Renee didn't know which one she was saying. So she said a lot without saying nothing, if that makes sense.
Mm.
Like usual.
Nobody's really
Mm-hmm.
focusing on Mercedes and her match with Momo, which I feel bad because Momo deserves more attention than
I
that.
love Momo. Momo's so good.
But I feel bad. I feel bad for Momo because they had no segment on Dynamite. They had
You know
nothing.
who Momo kind
Momo,
of reminds me a little bit, especially like just like a little bit above how she wrestles and sort of like her vibe. A little bit,
mhm.
essentially. She reminds me somewhat of Hannah sometimes.
Oh,
That's really high recognition right there.
Oh, that's
she
gonna make me
didn't
sad.
have. They had something last week. They had a little run in last week, but they didn't have anything this week. So I was like, they don't. They ain't trying to put you on TV at all. Uh, so whatever. So here we have Takeshita versus Kenny Omega. Now I do
This is low
understand
key
this
gonna be a
feud.
bop. This is probably gonna
This
be
is
the
gonna
best
be
Yeah,
match.
fucking one of the matches of the night right here. Y'all are not gonna leave
this
disappointed.
this one I do understand because they actually gave me a backstory in Dynamite. This started in New Japan. Takeshita was one of the young lions, or he was his young boy. He was Kenny's.
Mhm.
Him and Kenny would
Mm-hmm.
battle it out. Kenny always beat him. He never had the opportunity to beat Kenny until he came to the States, joined the Don Callis family, and Don Callis used him to get under Kenny's skin. He was able to beat Kenny not once, but twice. And that's with help. He had some help. I want you to understand that. Okay. Now, Kenny Omega made it very clear that he was going after Takeshita and he wanted that international championship because he doesn't feel like Takeshita earned it, nor does he deserve it. He wants to bring back some prestige to the title. And Takeshita told him he was going to beat him again and prove that he is better than Kenny Omega. So this one, I was like, okay, now we got some shit going. Thank you. I was confused. I was lost till we got here. And I'm like, fine, thank you. You explained it. I appreciate that. Love that for me. Okay, might want to watch this. But it's $50 on Amazon Prime, which they were promoting the hell out of that Amazon Prime deal.
Yeah, didn't they
When you
just
go to
sign a
I
new
know
Prime,
you're
deal with
fucking
Amazon?
right.
yeah, but the deal isn't like what we're used to with streaming services. The deal is simple. They're going to stream on Prime, but you have to pay a pay per view fee to watch on Prime.
Still
Still
not
ain't
doing
doing
it.
it.
I'm
the
broke.
fact we said that at the
No,
same
dead
time
ass.
makes me happy.
Because this, and I hate to say it, but if it's on Prime, it should be included.
I mean, I
If
get
I can
Peacock
watch
for.
fucking, if I can watch, what is it, Sunday? Which football is on there? Where's AJ at?
He's upstairs. I'm in the living room.
AJ, whatever football is on, if whatever football is on, I feel like it's either it's oh God, I need AJ. I feel like it's Monday.
There's Monday night football, Thursday night football, then they have Saturday night
I think
games,
they
and
do
then Sunday night
Thursday
or
night
then Sunday
Is
football
it
football.
on
Thursday? I know
it's
they don't have
Thursday on
Monday. Monday is
Amazon.
still on for now. It's still on the
Yeah, it's
channel.
yeah, it's on
It's either
Thursday.
Thursday or Sunday because
Yep, I just
Sunday's
googled
on
it. It's
Peacock.
Thursday
I
night
feel like,
football.
isn't it?
It is. It is. So it's
So they
Monday
have
unless they
Thursday.
decide to put it on ESPN. Amazon has Thursday night football. So I don't mean no harm because I would love to watch this. I think this match is going to be match of the night, honestly, outside of Tony and Mariah. But I don't want to pay $50 for a show, and I pay enough
Honestly, you
in
know what
streaming
makes me mad?
service.
If I can watch
Right.
the fucking Olympics on Peacock, we should be able to watch an
Amen.
AEW pay per view for free. Like, I don't
Because
understand why and I hate to say, like, if WWE's raggedy asses that still don't make us pay for their shows.
Mania. We do not
I'm
pay for
shocked.
Mania.
the
I'm
fact that I have not had to pay for WrestleMania for how many years now?
No. And usually, Mania is usually the like double the price of a normal
Mania
PLE.
back in the day. Mania was like $100.
Yeah.
Yes. And I thought they was
Yeah,
gonna
because
make us
I
to pay an extra
Mania was
fee,
expensive because you would, if you
but
wanted to watch Mania, you would literally had to go someone's house. Everybody would have to fucking pitch in.
yep,
yep, yep,
yep, yep.
yep. It was OG days. My God. You remember you had to pay for boxing and everybody would go and watch the boxing matches at somebody's house. You still have to do that now, but God, that was
It's
a
not as
time.
Yeah,
prevalent
but that
because
was
a lot of
like
bars and stuff show the fights and
Yeah,
matches
they show
now.
the matches.
that's what they
I
there
vividly
was.
remember, and this was even, it is longer ago than I think about, but I want to say it was at least like 12 years ago. I remember it was literally a UFC fight, and me and my friend went to my friend's baby dad's friend's house,
My
and we
God.
all had to pay fucking
Jeez.
$5 to go there.
Yep,
Mm,
because you always had to charge your friends an entry fee because you're like, look, this shit's expensive. You gotta pay.
facts.
Do you guys remember the? Okay, this is how we're. Do you guys remember the black box?
Hell
By any
yeah.
chance? I mean, one of
That's
my
some
brother
old
friends had
school
that
shit.
shit. Yeah, that's how old we are. Oh
Right?
my god,
The
I
Oh my
hate it.
real
god.
table boxes. My
I
God,
hate
today.
it.
We have
Oh my
lived
god,
through
I.
a time. Oof. But
I'm just so
get back to
excited
this.
because we get two matches that two bad bitches are fighting, and I love
That's
that for
the.
Yeah.
everybody.
And here's the thing. Also, WWE, you can at least expect to be like it could be anywhere from like middle of the road to good. Okay, we get that shit for free. So say like Money in the Bank's not good. Okay, we don't have to worry. We're not paying for it. AEW has, at least to me, has not proven itself worthy of a $50 pay per view, even though I'm already paying for the subscription service. If that makes sense.
No, it does. I can understand how you feel like you wasted $50 if the show isn't good. I think that they should really talk to Max about putting their stuff on the streaming service. They would have a lot more people on the streaming service watching programs on there if they had that shit streaming to Max. I don't understand. Now, if they have an issue with live TV on Max, I can understand that. My thing is, why did you make the deal with Prime only for it to still charge $50? Prime members should get the damn PLE with included in their Prime membership.
Yep. And the way people are leaving Amazon right now because of all that shit that's going on.
They fault shoe. their fault.
I'm just
But
saying. I'm just putting it out there.
it's
Just
not helping the
saying.
case. Like, and I'm not saying AEW shouldn't get their coins. I'm saying you could have negotiated this so on the back end, Prime could still make money off of this. They're gonna get the views and the eyes, like they did it with that. They do it every year with the Savage Fenty fashion show that gets millions of views. They did it now with the football games. They do not charge us for watching football on Prime. They don't
Mm-mm.
charge us extra. If you want to go up on the membership, do whatever the fuck you want, but don't charge me $50 to watch this PLE. Not doing that.
God, you remember?
Now,
Like, I
I hope
remember long time back in the day, right? And then we'll move on to it. I remember this guy I was friends with. He spent like seven, and this is when like everything was switching. Like, if you pay like an extra amount, you get like the high def like WWE pay per views. He paid. I forgot
mhm.
which one it was. He paid $75, which doesn't seem like a whole lot nowadays, but $75 to watch a fucking pay per view, and he said that was one of the worst shows he had ever experienced. And he's like, I'm out $75 because this shit don't want to. They don't want. I'm like, see, 'cause I remember I used to beg my mom for pay per views, and she's like,
No, dead
no.
ass.
And I'm like,
No.
Mom, come on! Like, the only one I would ask for was WrestleMania, and one year she almost caved, and then she saw it was like $95, and she goes, no. And I remember like being so like emotionally damaged from that shit. Now I can just go back and watch it whenever. God, we really did go through the muck when we were kids, didn't we?
We did. We did.
These
But
kids have it
Kenny
fucking easy.
Omega, they do.
Yeah,
They do.
they do.
Takeshita and Omega, they're gonna have a good fight. If you get to watch it, please DM me on
That
Instagram and
shit is
tell me
so
how good
fucking
it
hot.
was.
I don't even care.
Like, this is gonna be, besides Mariah and Tony Storm, this is gonna be the one. Like, this is
This
gonna be
may
the
be
one
a
that
match of the
I
night.
hope this is gonna be the match of the night. Or if they're smart, they put it on before Mariah and Tony,
Nah, they gotta
because
go
I think
first because
it's
the
well,
supposed to
they
be
got
fucking
to do
first.
ratings doo
something.
doo.
They got to do something to wake that damn crowd up. Because if they put on like a fucking snoozer match, they got to wake them up.
I don't.
They got to do
So
something.
I think that Swerve and Ricochet's match is going to be good. I don't think it's going to be bad or great. I think it's going to be good. You got two good wrestlers in there fighting. They're going to do fine in their match. So the whole card isn't bad. I think that Paige and MJF's match isn't going to be as great. I think Mercedes and Momo's match is going to be great. The next match we're going to talk about is Okada versus Brody King. Uh,
I forgot
I
about that. Low
I
key.
know that Okada was supposed to, like, at one point he faced off against Buddy Murphy. He ended up losing, or they call him Buddy Matthews. My apologies. He Matthews lost in Australia, and now Brody King is going up against Okada. I don't know why. Honestly, they didn't really explain that one, so I don't know. We're supposed to have this match. We already talked about Fletcher and Osprey. They're having their matches in a steel cage. This is a massive card, by the way. They're gonna have a lot of matches and a lot of people fighting, but this match is gonna be longer than usual because they're gonna be in a steel cage. So let's get to the championships. Okay, we've already talked about Okada's match with the title, and then we have the tag team titles. We have Mercedes' match with the title, and we have Takeshita's title going up against Omega. So we got 4 titles being defended, and now we're getting to the main events. Hopefully, they close out with Mariah and Tony, because Mariah May attacked her on the red carpet of Queen of the Ring. By the way,
That girl's a fucking mess. I love it.
she attacked her.
She
But
has
we're gonna
no
talk about
sense,
the
no home training. Absolutely fucking crazy. I love her to pieces.
Saying she don't have home
we're gonna
training.
we're
Mariah
gonna
has
talk
no home
about
training,
her.
and I love it.
We're gonna talk about the other match that I don't think is gonna be as good It's John Moxley versus Cope
We
for
don't need to talk about
the.
this. I'm
We
so
have
tired.
to. We
I
have
hate
to.
it. I hate it so much. You have no idea.
Skinhead
I
versus
know,
the
but
go.
that's
Ugh.
crazy. Brandy said, I
They're
remember
crazy.
one
You
year
know
when they
what?
had
No, don't talk
WrestleMania.
about that's crazy. You know what's fucking crazy? That's
Oh God.
crazy that you have this damn near 50 something year old man, almost fucking 60, and
There
then
she
you
goes.
have this fucking raggedy ass other man who this is the 13th damn time that he's been AEW champion fighting for this belt, talking about crazy. This whole Death Riders is crazy. These old fogies in this fucking ring is crazy. Everything about this is crazy. Hang it up.
So
But he
mean.
wanted to wrestle. He wanted to wrestle his best friend one more.
Fucking fucks. I hate everybody involved in this.
She said it, not
So
me.
I don't know everything that's going on. I just know that it seems like Copeland has been fighting an uphill battle against the Death Riders, and he's finally gotten the upper hand on them. He took out two of the Death Riders last week in Marina and what's his name? Cesaro, because I don't know his name. Claudio, is that his name in
Claudio,
AEW?
that's what they call him over there.
Yeah.
Okay, but they took him, they took them two out. The last one left. Oh God, what is his name? Wheeler,
Yeah,
Utah
Wheeler
Wheeler.
Yuta.
The
He
useless
had a
one.
match with him. What happened?
Useless one.
Yeah, he is.
Oh my God, he's not useless. Say
He
Mm-hmm.
has
that.
been getting ass
He
whooped
is.
every single fucking week.
Okay, so Wheeler Utah had a match with Adam Copeland because his name is Adam. I'm gonna call him Adam. Okay, he had a match with Adam. They wrestled. Wheeler almost beat Adam. It was a pretty decent match, but Adam was able to pick up the win with the spear. Now, when Adam got done, he got up, he grabbed a microphone, and he picked Wheeler up and he told him, he said, he shook his hand and he said, "This is what respect looks like." And he walked away because he very easily could have taken him out the same way he took out Marina and Claudio. Now, Wheeler was a little bewildered by this, but of course, his overlord, John Moxley, came in and started bitching him out in the ring. And it was very disheartening. I don't like seeing a man emasculate another man. I don't like that. I am very, very irritated by that. That is very triggering for me. I don't like seeing another man emasculated by another man. That pisses me off. So I'm watching this and I'm just like, hell no. Like, whoop his ass. Like, you're standing there and this man is pushing you in your face, calling you names, disrespecting you. Absolutely not. He didn't do anything. He just pushed his hand off of him and walked out the ring. The whole time, John Moxley is verbally berating him from the time he left the ring all the way till he got in the back. And then once he got in the back and Wheeler left, he cut a promo. And essentially, what he said was, Adam, you did everything you could to get me alone, and you've succeeded. You've taken out everybody. But what you fail to realize is that I didn't need their protection to take you out. And he goes on a long diatribe and basically says that now that the wheels are off, that he's going to do everything in his power to dismantle Adam Copeland. I said, okay, that was a long way of saying you was going to beat his ass, but whatever. Um, so these two are going to fight at AEW Revolution tomorrow. But the star of this show is not Cope and Moxley. It is most definitely Mariah May and Tony Storm. This is the Hollywood ending. Now, I want to preface this by making you understand that this story is based off of a movie called All About Eve. And in the movie, there is an aspiring actress named Eve who comes across Margot in her dressing room, I believe, while she's performing one of her last shows on Broadway. And she's down in the dumps. and Margot takes her under her wing. But she doesn't realize that Eve is a wolf in sheep's clothing, and she starts to steal things from her progressively throughout this movie. All the while gaslighting her, making her think she was crazy, and doing everything in her power to dismantle Margot and take over her life as well as her career. When it didn't work, she fought back even harder, and it ended up culminating in a very, very big ending. I highly recommend that you go watch it. It is considered a Turner Classic movie. It stars Betty Davis, so you can go and watch it. Marilyn Monroe is in this movie as well. There are several other major stars from the 1950s in this movie. It came out October 9th of 1950, and it is in black and white. But you should definitely go watch it because it will give you some context as to what you're seeing with Mariah May and Tony Storm. Now, they took the story and changed it so it would fit into wrestling standards, but for the most part, they have followed it play by play. Okay?
Hmm?
Tony Storm was the girl. She ended up mentoring Mariah May like she was her own child. She loved her, she groomed her. Mariah May had a plan, though. She had a plan from the very beginning. Once she got with Tony Storm, she just waited and she waited. She waited till there was an opportunity. The Owen Hart tournament comes up. She has an opportunity. She wins. Tony Storm is helping her. You know, she's got all this help. And then she wins the last match. Tony Storm runs to her child to hug her and love her. And then Mariah May does what Mariah May does and proves that she is the woman from hell and takes out Tony Storm in probably one of the most brutal attacks I've ever seen from a woman. Okay, from a woman. She took her shoe and bust that woman in the head till she was bleeding. Okay, rubbed her blood on her. Like, I can't tell you how many times I hate that. I hate it so much. Rubbed it on her, carried that shoe around like it was the greatest. Afterwards, you saw her. She was dressed up like Tony Storm. And when I say it was freaky how much she looked like her, it's scary. Scary, man. This progressed all the way to All In at London. The girls fought hard, but Mariah May was the better woman that night. She wheeled out and became champion. For all this time, from All In London until now, she has been a dominant champion. It's not barring to backstage politics, just going off of the story. Going into AEW Grand Slam is when Tony Storm made her return. But first, Tony had to give Mariah May a little bit of security. So she showed up as Rocker Tony and made everybody think that she had completely forgotten the last 6 months of her life and had no idea what anything, who anybody was or what was going on, other than that she was a rookie and she was all elite in AEW. And a lot of people thought she was off her rocker, like she was crazy.
Hey, I
But
knew
Tony
the
wasn't.
minute she came back as that version of Tony Storm, I'm like, she's cooking something.
But she wasn't
She
crazy. She had a
wasn't crazy.
plan.
Like, you know a rogue
And,
when you see a fucking rogue. She's not stupid. She knows what she's doing.
and she laid it on very thick. Like they were following her with cameras. She was offering to help the roadies like any other rookie would. And they filmed it. We saw it. So everybody just thought, okay, Tony must have lost her shit. She must have had a nervous breakdown after her loss. Mariah May still being overly confident, thinking she's got everything in the bag. No one can touch her because she feels like she's the better version. Tony Storm was the original, but she did it better. She didn't realize that she also was a part of the plan. So when Tony won her way back into title contingency, Mariah May didn't even think 2 seconds of it. She's just like, okay, it's another victim. Fine. So they had their confrontation. And that's when Tony cut probably my second favorite promo that she's ever cut. She
That
made
promo.
Mariah May believe that she was still just this young girl coming in, and I just like you. I'm a big fan of yours, and I can't wait till we fight. And Mariah May beat the hell out of her again, spit on her, which she does a lot, which makes me even madder. Like that is some nasty shit. And then that's when Timeless Tony reemerged, and she told her that she hasn't forgotten, and that she's played the greatest role of a lifetime, which is herself. She made it very clear that she was there. She stripped down to her Timeless Tony gear, and everybody cheered. And Mariah May has been mentally unstable ever since. She has been off her rocker. AEW Grand Slam rolls around, and Mariah May loses the championship. And
And
she's
she gets
lost it. Not,
further off of her rocker.
and she's just nuts. She's losing it this past Wednesday on Dynamite. The girls agreed to not interfere and fight with each other, but they did not have to, because I promise you that interaction between those two women was one of the best promos cut on both sides that I have seen from two female wrestlers in my lifetime of watching wrestling. They legitimately said it just was really well done. Both of them played their part. Mariah was still unhinged. The moment they sat down, Renee introduced them, said she appreciated them, sticking to the clause of not fighting. Mariah May spits in that woman's face. Immediately says a cuss word and spits in her face. Tony goes, it's glad to see that you still care.
That whole promo, dude, he was like, I know you said that's like, what about Eve? That's the movie. I'm getting to whatever happened to Baby Jane.
Oh, I forgot about that movie too.
That movie, okay, that is a old school.
My grandma used to like that movie.
Being a horror movie, like that. The way when Tony said, I sentenced you to a lifetime of mediocrity.
She said, you'll be good, but you'll never be great. You'll be liked, but you'll never be loved.
If I knew I wouldn't like disturb my neighbors, I would fucking scream. That line was so good. It's so good, not only for this feud, but that's so good as an insult in wrestling, because that is so relevant.
And
that is so relevant. There's so many people within the industry who will always be good, who will always be
But
good,
they'll
who
never be
has
great.
been good, but you will never fucking be great.
And she also
that would have
said
made
that
me
one
sick.
line,
I would have
the
stabbed
killer,
her, honestly, if she said some shit like
she
that
said
to me.
that she said you will dwindle, you will fade, and you will be forgotten. And then people will ask, whatever happened to Mariah May? And she says she found out what happens when you try to kill God.
And then they both stood up.
Oh, because Mariah May threw her chair. Tony stood up, and Renee said, I pray both of you don't get hurt. And they both said, pray for her.
Pray for her.
I implore you to watch this promo from start to finish, because it was so good. This is the thing that and this is a lesson WWE needs to take too. When you take a story, sometimes WWE has a tendency to do a 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, rinse and repeat. The way that they utilized Tony and Mariah May to create this story, it's been 2 years in the making. You never got tired of it. They didn't drag it out to make it be too much. They made it so that you were clamoring for it, that you wanted to see this. This is something that we needed. Even though Tony's been AEW Women's Champion multiple times, you understand the severity of why she needed to go back after that title. This wasn't like Tony was just thrown into a one-off tournament and she won it. Tony had to literally work herself back up to getting there. Mariah May played her part for over a year.
And the
This
thing was,
story is a masterclass of how you can do long-term booking with a storyline without killing us with the story, without
and
dragging it out, without making it so dry and overbearing. You gotta have some substance to it. There needs to be a part A, B, and a finale. You need to have that. And they
because
did
here's
that with this story.
whole story. Because think about it, Tony was gone for like what, a year or something like that. Like she
No,
like,
she wasn't gone for that long.
Not a year, it was a few months.
Yeah,
well,
she
it
was
felt
only gone
All
for a couple.
in.
She was gone for maybe like 6 months.
the
Let me
whole
see.
point of this was that she made Mariah feel like she was safe, and she thought Tony was having another breakdown and reverted back to her old self. She played this so well. Like she kept all her cards hidden until it was time for the big reveal. And that promo where she literally said, "You're the woman from hell, but you came from my womb and I will shove you back up there." I was like, Jesus Christ. Like
Yeah, that
But
everything.
goes about right.
yeah,
She's been gone for about 5, 6 months.
yeah.
It wasn't that.
And what I really like is that regardless of Mariah being fucking insane and crazy, she is as good as she said she is, though.
Yeah, she is.
And
And
that's what she is.
that's what I really like about it. Is like, and I like how Tony acknowledges that. And that's why I really love the nuance of this story is that she's not discrediting her.
No.
She's like, and she has said she's like, she's as good as she says she is. And I know that because I saw it in her. I've always seen it,
It's
but
just
it's not your time yet. And I think this is the whole point. You are great, and quite honestly, and I hate to up someone, and I hate to, put this on someone, so because she still has a lot of ways to go in her career. She's young. She's only been wrestling for a few years.
Yeah,
For her to be where she's at, to be as nuanced and be such a fantastic, she's amazing in the ring.
yeah,
She's leagues ahead of a lot of people there.
these
yeah.
leagues a lot
Character wise, no,
Not
character
even
wise,
just
she's
the
in.
character wise, but also in the ring.
Like her
this
ring work is amazing. Character work is incredible. It's incredible.
Yeah.
this
I honestly, there's not a lot of young talent that could come into a space like AEW and still be able to hold their own the way that she did. And it's not even that, it's just she was involved. You get into this spot with Tony and you're able to play your part so well in this story with Tony and it telling Tony's story, but it also told hers. And she was able to come in and make that work. Like not everybody can do that. Like nobody, not everybody can come in and just be like, okay, what are we doing? This is where we are. Can you do this? Yeah, I got you. Like that. This girl came
I
in
mean,
out of
hell,
nowhere.
we were talking about fucking Ricochet a little bit ago.
Exactly.
He's a
But
vet,
he fits the
technically.
line. But he
He's
fits
a
the
vet.
line. You'll be good. You'll be good, but you'll never be great. I'm
mm-hmm.
sorry.
And that's what I really love about Mariah, and what I really love about this whole thing is that, again, it's showing, and what I really love about it is like women can do this. Happy International
Yes.
Women's Day. And it's
Yes.
like, because I don't give a fuck what no one says. They are carrying that company. I don't give a
They
fuck
are.
about a damn Moxley or fucking old ass Coop or Cope or whatever dumb shit name he wants to give himself this week, or MJF or any of them motherfuckers. They are carrying that company
They are.
because they are putting in the work, are making themselves interesting, reinventing their story, and then that goes to show you how women have to work 10 times as hard for a quarter or half the recognition.
Mm-hmm.
Amen.
When you have
But when they
MJF
do it
were
better, they
throwing
still
up,
don't get the praise.
shitting, throwing up, and eating back up the same bullshit he's been telling us for years.
Hmm.
Same thing with Mox. Like they're just doing the same shit, and you have like Tony and even Mariah to accept being able to build and remix and build upon like what they're doing. And it's like why it's like this is these should be the fucking these are the faces, these should be the faces of your company.
Amen.
Fuck a four pillars.
Yeah.
Speaking, two of them are missing. Three of them are missing. You
Uh-oh.
got one of them's trying to kill himself and climb Mount Everest. You got one that's been kicked to ROH since what's her name's shown up, which you know, I don't think anyone's really paid attention to that, but I noticed that.
Where is Jack Perry? Is that who you talking about?
No, I'm talking about Sammy Guevara. Sammy Guevara has been at ROH since Mercedes has came there, and no one seemed to notice or talk about it.
Oh shit.
I just don't care for Sammy Guevara, so I just thought he fucked off somewhere and just
No,
not.
he's ROH tag champs with fucking Dustin. Has been for like a few months
Jesus.
now. He's been in ROH. Well, he was gone while she like showed up, but since he's came back, he's strictly been in Ring of Honor.
No, that's true. Mm, well, I guess. I mean,
Um, and
do
then
you blame her?
God knows Jack Perry, who's just dumb. Like, ugh. But yeah, those are your pillars. And then you have MJF who's gone every 2 to 3 months to go film in a movie, which the part ends up getting cut anyways.
And he's
Ooh.
been doing this shtick for not even
Like,
trying to
oh,
change.
please.
No, no, she's right, man. I mean, it's just like,
But then he had Ricky sitting at home for an entire year almost.
Oh well. Mm. We
well,
got
good
a
news.
few more things to cover, but y'all give y'all last thoughts. AEW Revolution is March 9th, which is Sunday. If you're
That's
gonna watch
tomorrow.
it, please do. Yes, tomorrow, please do. I hope y'all enjoy it. I'm gonna just wait until the results come out, and I will tell y'all the results next week. We got a few more things to cover, I promise, and then I'll let y'all go about your business. Alexis, I apologize for cutting you off. Did you have one last thing to say before we move on?
All I gotta say is just women, fucking women.
fair,
Fucking.
fair enough.
It's just like I don't give a shit about what any of the guys are fucking doing. I could
Except
care.
for Kenny Omega and Takeshita. That's it.
Takeshita, yeah. I like that. That's a good match.
That's
That's
gonna
it.
be barn burner right there. I don't give a shit who says it, but like Tony Storm and Mariah May, like I hope Juice Robinson is giving his wife shoulder rubs every fucking night from how much she's had to carry this damn company lately. Like she's Mariah May, she's fucking great. Like I hope she has a wonderful career and she becomes a fucking top star, which that's high praise coming from me because y'all know how picky I can fucking be when it comes to that shit. But like Tony is this Tony is fucking carrying that company, man. She's everything a wrestler should be. She's entertaining, she's fun, like it's oh just
If I'm
win.
Hunter, if I wasn't fucking stupid,
Hmm.
once her contract starts creeping and be up, I'd
I'm
be like,
calling.
here's a blank check, write a number.
Yep.
For real.
I know I'm
And
dead ass. I'd be like, I'm dead serious.
you got
You can write
creative
a number.
control.
And you have complete creative control. Right, a
We will
number
back
you
you.
have complete control. You just got to tell us what direction you're leaning towards. We just have to have a couple discussions about, who we want to pair you with, X, Y, and Z. That's it.
Yep. 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 Well, Tony, I ain't gonna lie to you. I gave your ass hell when you left WWE, but
All
you knew
did.
what was
We
best.
all did, but
You you
you
knew what was
proved us
best. You came
wrong.
back. Yep. And you shined and you proved that one, you had the chops to be your own creative, to create a story that was not only funny, but it was compelling, it was interesting. And this is one of those stories that you can play back and watch and really enjoy. So shout out to you, Tony Storm, for being a G. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna switch over to WWE because next week it's a lot going on. Okay. Now, on Monday Night Raw, they're going to be overseas. I'm not quite sure where they're going to be at, but they're supposed to be starting a
Are they in
European tour
Barcelona?
In
for
Italy.
SmackDown. SmackDown, they're going to be in Barcelona. I don't know where they're going to be for Monday Night Raw next week.
Are they in
Hold on.
Brussels?
They're going to be in Brussels for Monday Night Raw on the 17th, I think. Hold tight.
Oh, I think they're in Cologne.
In
I don't. There's
Cologne.
some.
I think they're in Cologne.
Hold on. Monday Night Raw. What is this?
I'm be gagged if I'm right.
Monday, March. What is it? The 12th or the 10th? It's the 10th?
Will be his 10th.
Yeah. No, they're going to be in New York. They're going to be in MSG next week.
Oh,
Ooh.
that is right because they NXT has the MSG show.
Yeah, they're going to be in Madison Square Garden next week. So if you care, Logan Paul is going to be called out by AJ Styles because Logan Paul had some rude comments about AJ Styles and he decided he was going to call him out. Karrion kind of gassed him up to do it. You know, he's everybody's dark angel on their shoulder now. And
I love
then
this for him.
these two were killing each other on Monday Night Raw this past Monday. So much so, majority of the show was them just fighting each other and CM Punk cussing everybody out, which I love a good crash out. And Phil gave us a good crash out. Good crash out. So Adam got all fed up, snatching
He
off his
lost his
glasses
fight.
and
I was
shit.
like, as soon as I saw his ass stomping out there, I said, "Oh God, he's about to crash
Yes,
out."
just nuts. He put him in a steel cage match. So these two are gonna fight out in a steel cage match. And I swear to you, if Roman's ass does not show up and spear somebody, I'm gonna be mad because you have
He
waited.
needs to honestly. He low key. I don't even want the match to start.
I need him
I
to go
need
in there and
him
start
to
messing
pull a
people up.
Jade. I need him to go in there and fuck Seth's shit up.
Yep,
Fuck
yep,
his shit up.
yep. I need him to do something because you got laid out by Seth with two curb stomps. One of them was on a steel set of steps. If you don't attack
That
him
nigga try
before
to
he
kill
goes to the
you.
ring, right? Like you got to do something. You got to do something. I'm talking about whoop his ass backstage, something.
And
You
he
feel
talk
me?
about how he loves you. The fuck?
Nah,
You
that's a weird
love
way to
this
show
foot
your
up your
love,
ass that
fam.
you about to love.
Okay, okay. So it's a lot going on. Monday Night Raw is set to be a big show. They're gonna be at MSG, and then the next day we got
I
NXT
can't
at
picture
MSG.
NXT and MSG. I feel like that's a little too big for them. I love NXT, but
Well,
I
they're
feel like
not
that's
going
a
to be
lot.
in the main. Well, there's okay. So I thought that too, but there's a smaller section. There's a smaller venue within Madison Square Garden. That's where
What?
they're going to be. They're not
I
going to
never knew
be in
that.
the main. I didn't either, but I ended up asking about it, and that's when Kayla told me, and I looked it up, and she's right. They're going to be in a smaller venue within Madison Square Garden. They're not going to be in the big part.
That's
Uh,
crazy that Madison Square Garden is that big. Well, honestly, it's
it's
not
that big.
surprised. My favorite movie, well, one of my favorite movies of all time, if the audience did not know this, is Godzilla. It's specifically the 2000s Godzilla that everyone quote
Ooh,
unquote hates that has
hey,
Matthew Broderick
yeah.
because I think it's fun. That's a fun fucking movie.
It's a fun, dumb movie, and sometimes you just need a dumb fucking movie to watch.
And that was when I was a kid, and even like and up until like I don't even say up until high school, even when I was in high school, when I was sick, that was one of the movies I would watch.
Aw,
If I was at home, I was sick, it was that movie, Independence Day, and then I would watch
right?
what's the one with the wheel? Price is Right?
Yeah.
Yep. Though that's
Yeah.
all I would watch. Anytime I was sick, it was Independence Day, Godzilla, Price is Right.
Fuck. Well, everybody watched Price. They were homesick, man.
Oh,
So
I
we got
miss
to,
shows like that.
yeah,
Not the
yeah,
same with
We should do a
training.
podcast about that. I miss about shows like that.
yeah, fair. When
90s
wrestling
wrong.
is slow, we just do TV show podcast. All right. So we got a couple matches for the card for NXT Roadblock. We got Roxanne facing off against Jordan Grace. Jordan Grace showed up. Roxanne obviously wasn't happy, but Roxanne's been throwing it up in her face that the last time that they met, she beat her. And Jordan told her that they can wrestle anytime, any place, and she'll prove that she can beat Roxanne Perez. Now, Roxanne didn't like the fact that Jordan also threw up in the fact that she no longer is NXT champion and she keeps running around as if she is at the top of the division because she doesn't have the title. So, because of that, Roxanne attacked Jordan Grace with a chair. This is what led to this match being made for Roadblock. All right. Now, speaking of the women, ladies, Roadblock also has a massive match. These titles are set to be held by one of these women. So Stephanie and Julia have a storied past, and now their past is gonna be the part of their present. Julia and Stephanie want to prove that they are either better than the other, and in order to do that, they decided to make it champion versus champion, title for title, which means it's a winner take
Um
all place.
and non spoiler, apparently, which does make sense because she's like has barely wrestled, but Julia's apparently hurt.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah, but there is a little thing there that they had. Um, Fallon is looking to get her title rematch, and she wants Stephanie to give her a rematch. She wanted it
No.
before Roadblock, but Ava isn't trying to hear it, which leads me to believe they probably gonna come out there during this match. Okay, just if they don't, it's fine. You know, I'm cool with it. So Stephanie, she might be taking that title while Julia goes and recuperates. Now we already know that Tony D'Angelo lost the title to Peeping Tom Sean Spears. So they're not going to be defending their championship on the show, but there are a few matches that are scheduled that are non-title, and then we'll get to the big one. Javon Evans and Ethan Page are going to be in a street fight. Javon Evans probably going to win this one, seeing as how Ethan Page won the last one. So cool. There is tag team titles. The tag team titles on the line are not the NXT tag team titles. They are the TNA tag team championship. Okay? They're not the
okay.
NXT titles. So the Hardy Boys put their titles on the line against Fraxium. I'm going to be honest with you, I don't really care. But I'm sure for Fraxium, this is probably a dream come true to be able to wrestle the Hardy Boys at a PLE for the titles, no less. So congratulations to y'all. The only other match that's on this card that I don't have a graphic for is Trick Williams versus Eddie Thorpe. That is
Well,
going to
it's gonna
be
be
That's
an
gonna be
underground
awesome.
match.
an underground match with no bitches.
Yeah.
I think that's a first.
Hate it. It's
Yes,
so
it
sick.
is.
You know what?
finally, the last.
Whenever I'm manifesting this, because I feel like I've been intentionalizing things lately, when I eventually make my way over towards WWE as my employer, that's the first thing I'm gonna do. Is they'll probably fire me for suggesting that, like right off the bat. I feel like,
Can't with you. I
can we
can't.
get some bad bitches in under and when we have underground matches? They can be like, "What are you talking about?"
You're like, I
Like
don't
the
want.
UFC girls and everybody else, it's underground. Make it have rounds. I think it should have rounds. Kind of like the
Yes,
NXT UK
I want rounds,
championship.
and then but I want a different round girl, and I want them to look completely different. Like
Maybe
I want like a thick bitch, like a Lizzo bitch coming out like one at a times, and then
period.
I'll switch it up with like some Barbie bitch, and then I'll have like a girl that looks like Dochi, and then I would have like a what Jennifer Lopez still thinks she looks, well, I mean, not low key Jennifer Lopez, still great. I would have like a J Lo looking bitch. Like I would have variety. I would have something for everybody.
I am so done.
I see
The
your
last,
vision. Your
she's so
vision,
Yes,
girl.
it
stupid.
is. And like I said, oh, and then I would have me a bad little Asian girl. I don't want to say little
I
girl. I don't
can't
like
with
that
her.
connotation, but like a bad like Asian, like one of those like ABG bitches that are in, like, you know who I'm talking about, like them girls who are in Cali.
Yeah,
They always got
she,
them. Their nails are always, they always have like the cleanest looking nails.
they
They stay
do.
having a new bag every time you see them. They got 10 dudes trying to date them.
I'll just let her run with this because she's got ideas.
Nicole is so messy, yo. Like it's crazy. We got one more match. She don't want to talk about it. That's why she keep bringing it up. But Obafemi's defending his
I really
championship.
don't want to talk
And
about this.
that's why she don't want to talk about it. She's defending it against this man.
I see.
I Oba's gonna win. Oba's gonna win. Plain and simple. I don't want to have this man on my screen any longer. Oba's gonna win. And that's the end of that, as he definitely should. Now, this past Friday, we did get an understanding as to who attacked Jade Cargill over on SmackDown, and Naomi admitted that she
Oh,
did it.
theater, theater.
The girls was crying, they was arguing, and then Naomi got her ass whooped. Now, listen to me. I need y'all to hear me when I say this. This is the second time that Naomi done got her ass whooped. Okay. Naomi got to get some get back. Naomi got to get a crew that's gonna follow her. And it don't need to be
I
nobody
think
that's in WWE. It's
I
Lash
might
and
know who that little
Jakara.
crew is.
It's gotta be Lash and Jakara.
Lash is big
It got
enough
to be.
to go toe to toe with Jade. And then
Exactly my
Jakara's like,
point.
she's gonna throw some licks in there.
Yes. Naomi gonna be the OG. She gonna help them so they understand. You know what I'm saying? I got y'all back. Y'all got my back. I got y'all back. Right? It got to be
Mm-hmm.
Lash and Jakar. They gonna have to go after that hoe because that's the only way that they gonna make this work. Because Naomi done got her ass beat twice by Jade Cargill, twice. Okay, she got to have some get back, especially if they plan on making this a Mania level event match. She got to do something next week. She got to do something. Now they done clear Bianca, but I don't know. I still think Bianca on some bullshit.
I mean, Bianca is on some bullshit because I will always defend Naomi, even though I knew that she did it. But Naomi has never been wrong in her entire life, and she will never be wrong in her entire life. So I'm gonna stick beside her
She
because
did say
obviously
some real
Bianca don't
shit.
have her back. So I'm gonna have her back.
Damn.
She didn't. That's why she's an ungrateful bitch.
That is
Woo!
so dirty. She did
Listen,
say some real shit. She said that y'all let y'all came out there, y'all went out there, you left me hanging and went with Jay, and y'all went and became tag champs, and I cheered y'all on and I let y'all shine, and I've been there for y'all. And she was like, even though I didn't feel like Jade was the right person to be your partner, I still was there for you. I still was rocking with you all day, every day. But y'all left me. And I'm like, well, she got a point because I feel like y'all could have been a team like the New Day was and utilized the Freebird rule and had them tag team titles rotating between the three of y'all.
That's right. That's less work.
I don't know. I just feel like she got a point in some areas, but I think she just went about it the wrong way.
I'm going to say this
That's
on the
all.
podcast. It is March 8th, 2025 at 10:51 p.m. on a Saturday night. This is the first time I've ever heard Tiff use an excuse for someone who just turned heel.
That's the only shit. I love Naomi. I will.
I always
I
give
will do.
excuses, so this ain't nothing new to me.
I
I
know, that's
love
why I said,
Naomi though, but I'm not giving an excuse. It's the truth. It is true. She's not lying about that. Do I think she went about it the wrong way? Yes.
You know what I think is so funny about wrestling?
but
Anytime someone has to sell an injury, why is the go-to that fucking neck brace?
I
I,
don't know.
It's always this freaking neck brace. It's all the time.
Sadie's,
It's
is
so
that
It's
bitch
literally
stupid.
just, it's all the time. Someone gets their leg fucked up. They have that why? Why is this such a
Nicole.
thing? I'm
I,
serious. Think about it.
I can't with her. I
Think
can't.
about it. I'm
Girl.
being dead serious. I'm like joking, but I'm being serious. Think about it. Every time some fucking a wrestler has to have an injury or a kayfabe or sell how fucked up they are, the first thing they do is go in that medical fucking room and grab one of them fucking neck braces.
they got them on a wall that you
I
just
don't
use.
even think they use them for real.
No, they just back there. We got a
They got
neck
them all.
injury. Got to
I
get that
feel
neck
like if
brace.
someone next actually gets fucked up, they're like, "Oh shit, we're out of the neck braces," because too many people got them bedazzled and colored in and not for
Nicole,
real fucking
please.
proper use.
I mean, I would want a bedazzled neck brace, but
I'm
that's just.
shocked Cody didn't have one on.
Uh,
Speaking of Cody, Cody was out there, cut a promo on that man's
He
eye.
got fucked Travis up.
yeah, I'm pulling up to his house.
Actually,
I
I'm not
was
pulling up to
like,
his house. I'm pulling up to Kylie's
I'm
house
going
because
to
I'm
the
pretty sure she
concert.
owns his house or bought it.
I,
Why was he here? I know we're trying to get off, but I'm like, why was he there? Because this motherfucker the entire time was, I don't
I
know.
understand, like in hindsight,
he has a
I
deal with
do
The
get
Rock.
it,
That's why he
and
was there.
I hate to say it like this, and I appreciate the nuance isness of him
Yeah.
being there and what that represents. It's just I'm just
Hmm.
ragging on him because it's funny because it's like, why'd you hit that man so hard?
Like you
I'd be
could have
pissed.
just slapped him. Like why did you? Like
Like
he
he hit
literally
him so hard.
I
he
would have been
keep doing too
fucking
much.
pissed.
And
Like that
that's
was
the but it's
crazy.
still funny that he hit him now or so. But my friend texted me and he was like the receipt that Travis is gonna get is gonna be so good. He was like, I cannot wait.
He better get one. He
Oh,
better get
he's
one.
gonna get a
And I want it to
good.
be televised. I need to see it.
I
Because
don't
look
even
at
want
that
it
man's
low key
face.
be televised. I'm whooping his ass in his concert.
Oh,
Thank you. I want it to be in front of everybody.
And you know how much of a
thanks,
and Cody looks like he's rah-rahing himself up to hopefully get where I need him to go. If me,
Yep.
I'm evil. I'm showing up before he can even drop the beat for Fiend.
Facts. Facts.
I and
I'm
he
whooping his
once he
ass in the
starts
back.
getting them,
to say
smacking him
something.
in his fucking mouth before
I'm
he can
whooping his
even.
ass.
I am ruining that concert. I am ruining those 5 fucking thousand people are in there. I'm ruining your night. You know why I'm ruining your fucking night? Because he ruined my night. I'm gonna make
Look at my
fucking
face.
everybody from Travis Scott to The Rock to John Cena fucking I'm gonna make them miserable up until I have to wrestle John. I'm not playing with you no more.
Girl, I don't think Travis
Rock
Scott can.
wants to play games. I'm showing up in that Maui set and I'm setting shit or whatever that
Yep,
dumb
yep.
fucking Disney another bullshit Disney movie he's shooting and I'm setting that
Was
set
that
on
Jungle
fire.
Cruise? Mm-hmm.
I don't know, it's Jungle Cruise or a 13th Moana that no one fucking asked
It's
for
a fucking
or some other
live
bullshit.
action Moana. Like
They
that's what
suing
it is.
somebody suing Disney over Moana.
Really?
Yes. Yes, they are suing
I thought
them.
someone suing them again over Moana. I thought someone did
They're
before
suing them
too.
because they said they stole their idea for Moana.
People always come out and say that. There was some guy a couple of
People
years ago
always say that.
that said
Well, they low
Disney.
key be telling the truth because that black lady that said the dudes that did the Matrix stole her movie. They actually did that
Oh,
shit.
that no, they actually did the what Couchskis. They did steal that lady's
Hmm.
idea.
They stole that
But
lady's
like
movie.
What Couchies are trash though
notorious shit
people.
stealers.
Yeah,
Hmm.
they're very trash people.
But like
So
no,
it's not like it's not possible. Like it is, but it is possible that they stole that man's
so
idea.
don't be showing up at Travis Scott's concerts because he's already had enough issues with concerts going crazy.
No, fuck
So
that. He
Fuck
showed
that!
up
I'm
at my
starting a
job.
riot.
He showed up at my
Yep,
job,
that's right.
punched
You
me
gonna
in
show
my
up at my
face.
job? I'm showing up at your
I'm
job.
going to yours. I'm going to yours. I'm gonna pull a LA night. I'm going to your house, nigga. I'm going in there. Fuck.
And when I say your house, I'm saying the house. I mean, not. I'm just fucking with Travis Scott. I know he has money, but I just like dragging the Kardashians, and I'm be like, I'm gonna go to that house that Kris Jenner picked out
oh,
for you. Probably. I don't know for a fact, but I'm just gonna say it because it's funny, and I'll probably piss him off.
All right. So there is a rumor out, but I'm gonna get to that rumor before we go. We got a few more minutes. Lex Luger is gonna be inducted into the Hall of Fame. Cody is the one who told him he was gonna be inducted. I know a lot of people have some feelings about Lex Luger, but I will say that for the most part, he has taken full accountability for his actions against Miss Elizabeth, the things he did to her, the things that he did to his ex wife. He has taken full accountability for those things. He has never acted as if it was her fault. He blames himself for her death. He truly and honestly has taken full accountability for the things that he did to Miss Elizabeth, as well as the drugs and everything that he was addicted to and ultimately got her addicted to. He has taken responsibility for that. Like I said before on a previous podcast, it is not my place to forgive or condemn Lex Luger. I'll let God handle that. But he is being inducted this year into the Hall of Fame. He can stand up, which is good. He's been working with DDP. DDP been doing God's work for a long time. Okay, and
They need to
no, for
rename that
real,
fucking Warrior Award and name it after DDP. I'm being so for
I have
real.
to agree. No, I have
I
to
don't
agree
like how that
because
award is named after that man.
no, I agree. I think that DDP, when wrestlers have a stiffness and they have difficulty walking, he does such good work by helping them. He's helped so many people with nerve damage, and all those different problems. Like he has really been doing God's work when it comes to that. So he's been working with Lex Luger, and it has been working because he was able to stand up. He stood up and hugged Cody, and he almost cried when Cody told him that he was being inducted into the Hall of Fame. Now, here's my thing, WWE. If you can induct Lex Luger after his war crime, then I suspect and expect by next year, China is inducted into the Hall of Fame.
Yes.
Okay. I don't want to hear nothing
I
about
at
her.
first I didn't never thought it was gonna happen, but I think it'll happen eventually.
Y'all need to do it because y'all are inducting people who have shit attached to them. That's pretty fucking bad, if we're being honest. Okay.
Yeah.
If you can overlook
Um.
Lex Luger's bullshit, you should be able to overlook China's. Induct her because she deserved it. I don't know what the
Yeah,
fuck going on with you,
she
Triple
needs to
H,
be in next year's class. And
but she
like
needs
I'm
to be
agree with
inducted.
you. I'm not here and it's not my place to condemn or whatever, especially when it seems and it looks like that he's truly remorseful for the actions that he did
Hmm.
Yeah.
and contribute it. And that's the thing. And I'm like, I'm not going to like hem and haw and stuff like that. But if you're gonna acknowledge your wrongdoings and try to work and better yourself and try to learn from that, then that's good.
Yeah.
Because I'm gonna tell you what, that's a hell of a lot more than fucking Hulk Hogan's ass is doing.
Thank you.
Amen.
So that's what I'm saying. And I hopefully, and I felt really bad. And he was talking about like he doesn't really have a great relationship or a relationship at all with his children. And he was basically
No.
like, like I understand where they come from with that. And
Yeah.
he's like, and I respect that. He's like, I hope that one day they will open communication. But obviously that's in their court, which
Yeah.
it makes me sad for him. But I'm happy that he's in a place that he has learned from his mistakes, that and he's healing
Right.
inside and
That's all
outside.
that I asked for. Right. That's all I asked for. And it seems like he's doing that. So good for him.
Yeah, like I said,
Last thing.
more than fucking Terry's ass is doing.
Hmm.
Exactly. Last two things. John Cena's tour schedule is not for SmackDown. I want to make this very clear. His tour schedule is not for SmackDown. March 17th, 24th, and 31st are all Mondays.
Why is he
These are
on
all,
Raw?
don't know, but these are all Monday dates. And this is where they're going to be. They're going to be in Belgium, Scotland, and England. And these are all Mondays. They're not for Friday. So I don't know. I don't know,
Interesting.
man. Now, the European tour starts Friday because SmackDown is going to be in Spain, in Barcelona. Now, he might pop up in Barcelona. He just might. But the rest of these dates are for Mondays. So I guess baldhead ass John is going to be on there talking shit about Cody for 3 weeks straight.
Not your
Cody
old
better than
man.
me because I would have my ass on Monday Night Raw. I would be there.
Not your old man talking shit about your new man. Ooh.
Yeah, child. Now, here's a rumor that I thought was interesting. WWE is considering bringing back WWE Evolution. However, it is supposed to come back sometime around June of 2025. Now, they're very vague about what they mean by having this particular branded PLE. They did not say that this was an all women's PLE, which leads me to believe that they are rebranding Evolution to be a PLE for the entire roster. They're not doing it for the women.
Mm.
Now, I could be wrong. I could be wrong, but I don't think that I am. But yes, they are supposed to be using Evolution this year as a PLE. And that is the last rumor that I heard.
Yeah.
And we are
Yeah,
done for
yeah,
the day.
last thing I heard that they were probably going to keep it all women. I think they were originally why they've been waited so long because As a whole, especially like ticket wise, but I think it was just how it was just not as not, I don't want to say wasn't successful, but it wasn't like,
compared to
A
like
money making
normal.
PLE. It
yeah,
wasn't
it
a
was
money
just like
making
okay.
PLE.
But
Yeah,
also you have to think about the time frame this was. Um it was like Bella's were still well, they weren't like fully active. They came back. And like Ronda was a champion, and then I think Mickey was still there. I think Mickey was in one of the matches. Like
Wasn't
it was
that
Mickey was
still,
there.
even though the women were improving and they were doing great, there was still some like holes within the division. Um,
Hmm.
but now there isn't as much. There's a lot more fleshed out. Because completely honest, they could do that with they could do an evolution with strictly NXT girls, and that shit would sell out probably.
They could do it with that collab with TNA though.
That's what I would, and I honestly, that's what I think what's taking them so long. Because I low key think it's gonna be a joint pay-per-view. That's what I would do. I would have NXT girls, I would have main roster girls, and I would have girls from TNA. But the one thing that scares me about that, Scott, what's her name, would probably be on that card.
Tessa.
Yes. That's the
you
only thing that would make me nervous.
And
I
I
feel
know
like
damn well Chelsea not gonna work that card if Tessa's on that card.
she would, but they can't be, they would have to be on opposite ends of the card. Like Tessa's match would have to go first, and then Chelsea would have to like go last or second to last. Like they gotta, there needs to be some space. They can't be like walking past each other too
can't be in the
much.
same other.
Yeah, they can't be walking past each other too many times, and that'll create some problems.
Brandy said she heard a rumor that WWE was doing a pay-per-view in December called Ruthless Aggression, paying homage to John Cena, but she doesn't know if it's true or not.
I
I've heard that rumor a couple months ago too.
It's possible.
I don't know where I saw, I don't know what tweet, but I have seen a tweet that has mentioned that.
I wouldn't do it in December though.
I've
No.
seen a
I would
teaser.
When
that
did
would be
Root
the pay.
it depends though. When did Ruthless Aggression technically start?
I
I
don't
just
know.
remember. I just remember him slapping Kurt Angle. That's all I remember.
I wouldn't do it in
Yeah, so
December
that's what I'm
only
saying.
because that's the
There
time
might
frame
be
that
a
they have
rhyme.
off.
There might be a
Like
rhyme or
that,
reason for that to be in December.
it would have. I would okay if it's gonna be in December, it would have to be early December. Only because I don't want that. If I was doing it, I wouldn't want that to interfere with the wrestler's time off.
That would be my thing. I'd be like,
Oh yeah, because half of them be on vacation in December.
They be on
They be
vacation during
clocking
that time
out,
because they do two PLEs in November, Crown Jewel, and they do Survivor Series.
and then they clock out.
And then they
mm-hmm.
just go clock out. And at end of the month, a lot of them shows be taped in December.
Half them
So
shows. That's why everybody was fucking crying and complaining and shit. And I was like, you think anything important is gonna happen with a fucking Raw in the middle of December? You're on fucking
you
crack.
ain't lying. You ain't lying. So I would prefer if they had Ruthless Aggression in September. Because they usually do something like Payback in December. I mean in September. And they're gonna keep Bad Blood in October.
I hate
So
Payback.
make Payback the Ruthless Aggression PLE. There you go.
Cat, you were doing something in here. Something looks weird.
Like, why are you
So
being?
that's
She was quiet for so long. You were fucking with something in here. I already know it.
So that's where we are with the rumors and everything. I hope y'all enjoy AEW Revolution if you watch it. Next week, you got a lot going on with their European tour kicking off for WWE. SmackDown is going to be over in Barcelona, Spain. Raw is going to be in New York at Madison Square Garden. You got a lot of big matches happening. I'm sure the fallout of Rhea Ripley losing her championship to Io Sky is going to continue and possibly lead to a triple threat, which I hope that's what they do.
About that so bad.
And I hope Alexa Bliss, I hope that Raquel and Liv and them have their little tag team celebration so Alexa Bliss can make the challenge to Liv and Raquel. And with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, we will see you guys next week. Hopefully I can get Midwest Melanin Mafia to get it together and we can do the podcast next week.
Jesus.
But we love y'all and we will see y'all next time. Have a good night.
Bye.
Down for the count.